Okay, welcome everybody. Just give me a second. I gotta do a quick sound check here, and I think we're good. Okay, welcome to another tier list stream. This one is a little different. It's not a purely One Piece themed one, although there are One Piece characters on here. Today we're gonna be looking at a bunch of old dudes. That's right. We're taking a look at a bunch of really strong old dudes in anime and manga, some of which I know, some of which I don't. I just found this tier list on the website. There's actually quite a few characters on here that I have never, I don't know anything about because I haven't seen those animes. So we're going to have to sort those out first. But then after we do that, then we are going to go and we are going to rank who is the strongest old man in the history of everything. Welcome in, everybody. How we all doing this morning? I just woke up a little while ago. If you want to know my day so far, I woke up and I had a little egg bowl omelet thing, and now I'm doing this. And like, there we go. That was my morning so far. I woke up like 30 minutes ago. Okay. All Might should be here. That is okay. Yeah, now we have to like start off with that. Like, what is even counts as an old man? Like retirement age, so like 65 would be retirement age, at least in the US. But then like my parents retired. My parents are both retired. My dad retired at 65, but my mom retired at like 62. So like, is that considered old? Because if you consider 62 old, I gotta call my mom and tell her that, and she's gonna be very upset. So I don't know if you want to consider 62 old. You know, like yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. So this is, yeah, let's start with that. So, yeah, there's some people on here that should be on here but are not on here that I can add on before we even get started. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we have All Might. I think All Might counts. I'll put All Might on here. But if I'm putting All Might on here, am I also putting on All For One? Because All For One's like 200. I don't know. Let's say I'll put All Might and All For One, All Might and AFO, and we'll see where that goes. Okay, who else? Who was the other one that somebody recommended? Ichiru from Toriko. Yeah, because Jiro's on here, but Ichiru is older than Jiro. Okay, so we'll do that. All right. So Naruto's teacher, not Kakashi, the other one. Yamato is not old. Yamato was like in his 20s. Yamato was like the same age as Kakashi. Tekking, how do you feel? How did you feel Hollywood, Los Angeles? So I was only there for we were in only Hollywood for like one day. We walked around the Walk of Fame. We had a lunch at a really nice pizza place. There was a farmer's market going around. I guess every Sunday they did this big farmer's market in the middle of downtown Hollywood, like Western Hollywood. And that was really cool. And I got some stuff there. I bought a bag of nuts from a woman named Sanji. Spelled Sonji instead of Sanji, and I told her about have you ever watched One Piece by any chance? Because there's a character pretty prominent named Sanji, and she's like, no, I didn't know that. That's so cool though. And I'm like, yeah. So that was pretty neat. And then we also went to Hollywood Forever Cemetery because I wanted to see the grave of Trevor Moore from the Whitest Kids You Know, the sketch comedy group, and I saw Fay Ray's grave and some other graves there from famous people that have passed away. So it was just there. Yamamoto is already on this list. Yamamoto is right here in his Bankai form, so he's right there. You mean Gran Torino? Maybe. Also, he's there as well. Gran Torino's there. Yeah, I should put Seiko on there. I don't know about Turbo Granny, but let's put Seiko on. Actually, this is old dudes. I labeled the stream old dudes. Sorry, no Seiko and no Genkai. I realized, where's Genkai at on this list? There is no Genkai because this is old dudes. Dracula. Does Dracula... Okay, fuck it. We'll put Dracula, but I'm putting Dracula from Castlevania, the Netflix series, okay? I'm putting Netflix Dracula, and we'll go into that. All right. Technically, Yuha and Zero Squad are all the oldest. Yeah, that's true, but they don't look old, so this is the qualification. You got to at least look a little old, all right? I'm barely qualifying All Might right now, but we'll see where we go here, all right? You could just rename the stream. No, I cannot, sir. No, I cannot. I could, but we're already doing this. Grandpa Gohan, Roshi, Old Kai. Roshi is on here. I don't think Grandpa Gohan is on here. And I don't know, the Old Kai maybe. Does Odin count? Is Zeus on here? I think Zeus. I put Zeus in the thumbnail, so I hope Zeus is on here. Yeah, Zeus is over here. Zeus is over here. Actually, no spoilers for Record of Ragnarok, but spoilers for Record of Ragnarok. The next fight is going to be Odin. Odin's fighting next. So if you're into Record of Ragnarok and you're ready for like the final battle and shit, it's not the final battle yet. It's only round 12. But like, if you want to know about like, oh shit, Odin's fighting, like, yeah, it's coming up next. So like, you know, maybe get caught up to that series if you want to. Beard looks great. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. All right. So, before we add these new ones in, I want to go through really quick, and I want to add the people that I do not know. So let's just eliminate those really quickly. All right, so who's the first person on here I do not recognize from any property? Okay, Makarov, Whitebeard, I know Netero. There's Kaseki from Dr. Stone. There's Old Man Zeno from Hunter x Hunter. There's Rayleigh. Oh, wait, I don't know who this guy is. Who's this guy right here with the weird beard that has lines coming out of it? I don't know this guy. This guy right here. Who is this dude? I don't know this guy. This guy doesn't exist. I don't know who this guy is. Like, okay. There's the third Hokage. There's Jiraiya. There's Master Roshi. There's Grand Trainer. There's Yamamoto. This guy. This is Lelouch's dad, right? It has been a hot minute since I've seen Code Geass. And I've never actually, full disclosure, I've never seen Code Geass all the way through. My experience with Code Geass is back in the day, I would occasionally watch it on Adult Swim when I was like in high school. I remember a little bit about the plot. Like, I remember Lelouch. I remember C2. I remember, like, Mao. I remember the purple-eyes WTF, like, I'm at soup meme. I think I know more about Code Geass from the abridged series, Code Ment, than I do from the actual story. That's King Charles. Yeah, that's Charles Z. Britannia, right? I kind of remember him. You're going to have to help me with that. I remember him having some bullshit immortality Geass or something, Geass or whatever. Okay, so we're going to have to get back to him. All right, so we have Bang from One Punch Man. We have Garp. We have Zeus. We have Old Man Joseph. I don't know who this guy is. This is a guy from JJK. I don't know enough about JJK. I'm putting him on here. This is an old guy from Baki. I don't know much about Baki. Wow, there's just a bunch of people in a row I don't know. I don't know this guy. These guys all look like they're from the same anime. These three dudes right here. I don't know who this guy is. That's Onoki from Naruto. This is the guy from JJK. I haven't seen JJK. I'm sorry. You can hate me later. This guy looks familiar, but I don't remember what he's from. Oh, this is fucking Hyo from Kingdom. Cool, yeah, we could have some Kingdom references today. This guy looks like he's from, like, Boruto or something, but I don't know. There's Leif Erikson. There's, oh, shit, what's his name? He's from Frieren. He's the hero that was the original, like, pro-tag of Frieren, but Frieren is the pro-tag of Frieren. I forget his name. This is the old dude from Spy Family. I don't know this guy. I don't know this old dude with... This guy doesn't even look that old. This guy just has, like, a golden beard. He looks like he's from a 90s anime. I probably feel like I should know him. That's Pixis from Attack on Titan. That's Rempa from Kingdom. That's August from Fairy Tail. That's Jiro from Dragon Ball. That's Mo Go, I think, because he's Mo Ken. It's because the way names are in Kingdom, it's like they're all like well, there's Chinese names and then there's the Japanese names, but there's like Mo Ken and then Mo Go and then Mo Gaku or something. I forget exactly, but I remember him. And then there's Jiro from Toriko. Okay. Yeah. Himmel. His name was Himmel. Yes, I remember Himmel. Okay. You skipped Yugi's. Well, I know Yugi's grandpa. I know Solomon Moto. I'm not like, it's Hagoromo. Okay. Let's see here. Takamura or Riot? I don't know who Takamura is, so I guess Riot. Yeah. Yeah, I guess we got to do a granny, strongest grannies after this. So, like, the only people, there's way more strong old dudes in anime than strong old grannies in anime. I mean, we have Genkai and we have Seiko, and we also have, I guess you could argue, like, in Hunter x Hunter, you could say Biscuit maybe, but, like, she's only 50. That's not, like, super old. Yeah. Takamura from Sakamoto Days. Yeah, let's throw Sakamoto Days. I don't know much about Sakamoto Days. I just like saying Sakamoto Days. I've read, like, how many chapters of Sakamoto Days have I read? I didn't get super far into it. I think, you know what? I have one volume upstairs that might have been, I just might have read the first volume, and that was kind of it. Not because it's bad, just because, like, I love Sakamoto Days. It's just that happens to me so often. I'll pick up one volume of a story, I'll read it. Oh, that was good. And then just never pick up the second volume again. I'm still on volume 2 of Blue Exorcist from, like, 2010. I remember reading up to the second volume of Blue Exorcist and then just stopping after that. Like, man, that was a good series. I like this. And never read beyond volume 2. All right, but let's add in some new people here. Let me go back over here. You can see my very messed up bed head, and I'll add in some new characters here. All right, so let's throw in All Might. Like, why not? Like, All Might is like, okay. All Might is pretty strong. He's pretty cool. I'll use All Might. You know, he's in his late 50s or around 50s, so whatever. We'll do that. Let's just do it this way to get the icons. I could just do this. I think that'll probably work. Tier Maker is usually pretty good at, like, adjusting for, like, the icon size or whatever. All for one. Okay. Iroh's on there. Iroh is on there. We will talk about Iroh. Iroh, you know what's crazy? Iroh's not even that old. Seriously, I looked it up. Iroh's, like, in Avatar, the original Avatar, he's only, like, he's in his 50s. Because he's the older brother of Ozai. And, like, Ozai looks to be, like, in his, like, 40s-ish. There's no way that, like, Ozai's, like, 42 and more in the peak of his youth, and then Iroh's, like, 75. And I looked it up. It's like, no, Ozai's, like, in his late 40s, and Iroh's in his early 50s. He just looks a little older. But, yeah, yeah. All right, so there's AFO. Okay. Let's see. Who else do we got on here? Ichiryu from Toriko. Yeah, Ichiryu. Okay. I'll just, put that here. Okay. Okay. Old Joseph Joestar, he's on there. Old Man Joseph's on there. Dracula from Netflix, he's going on there. Oh my god, I typed in Dracula from Netflix and some weird BBC version of Dracula came up. Dracula, Netflix, Castlevania. How is Dracula not from Castlevania not the most notable Dracula from Netflix? Wow. All right. Maybe that BBC Dracula might be good. I don't really know. All right, Dracula. Dracula's an old man. All right, who else? Old Man Gohan from DBZ. Grandpa Gohan. Yeah. There we go. Goku's grandpa. Nosferatu could never. I like the Nosferatu movie. It was pretty good. Gohan. And then I'll put the old Kai on there. Old Kai is funny. He's old. Yeah. Now, like, I know a lot of people, because I talk about One Piece, I know a lot of people are like, oh, man, put Old Man Hyogoro from Wano, put this character on there. Like, there's a lot of old characters from One Piece, and we're not just talking about One Piece today, so I can't put on, like, every old person from One Piece. So I think I'm just going to keep it, like, Garp, Whitebeard, and, like, Rayleigh. Okay, here we go. Yeah, you guys are going to have to help me with some of these because I'm not as well versed with all of them. That's also a thing. I want to limit the ones that I don't know that much about. But okay, I think I have all the ones that we added, and I got to get started because we're doing Yu-Gi-Oh today too. So, yeah. Brooke is 90. That is true. Okay, I'll add Brooke, but that is it because we got to get through this today. I was originally going to do this yesterday, actually, but YouTube Creator Studios was down. I was going to do this last night, and then it just didn't work out, so, yeah. All right, we'll use Brooke here. Brooke is an old man. I'm waiting, old man. Get ready to hear that meme a lot in this video. Old Man Zuko. Yeah, okay. I see. No, I mean, we could do another one of these. We'll do a sequel, maybe. Netero from Hunter x Hunter's on there. Garp is on there. I'm not going to put Scopper on because Scopper, we've only got to see Scopper, a little bit of Scopper. I know there's like an immediate amount of Scopper hype, but I'm not going to put Scopper on there on this one. All right, okay, so let's add these new ones in. All right, so there's Sakamoto, there's Taro, okay, Gohan, Dracula, Brook, All Might, All for One. I think that's all the ones. It's like we'll add all those in. Okay, I think we're good. Now, there's a lot of ads on this freaking website, so let me see if I can get around that here. It's like, okay, I think that's good. There's not a barrage of ads for IKEA all over the screen. Okay, here we go. There's a new layer down here. Okay, so we added All for One, and I'll just scatter these guys all over the board so it's like diverse a little bit. It's like just throw them over here and just do this. Okay, here we go. There we go. We got that set up. Okay, great. All right, we got to get started. Genkai is not an old dude. Granny Seiko's not an old dude. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So, I'm debating whether or not to do this in order or if we go by tier levels. So the tier levels we have here are all the ones I have not watched or I don't know enough about. Then we have human level. I am going to stretch human level a bit, but more or less like, even if you're like not superhuman, but like if you're capable of something that only like maybe the top echelon of people in our world are capable of, I'm still going to consider it like human level. Okay. And then we have superhuman, which like, okay, that's more like you can destroy a street or something, like a small village or something you could kind of destroy at that point. All right. Then we have mountain busters, continent busters, planet busters, and then greatest old man, which will be the highest tier of all days. Oh, Sakamoto's only like 27. Is he? Is he like 27? It's been a while, man. I have the first volume, I swear to God. It's just been a while since I've read it. Oh, dude. It's like, we gotta take Sakamoto off, though, man. He's in his 20s. Well, that's the problem. We can't take Sakamoto off. Because that's one of the things with this website. You can't take off the panels. It's just, okay, whatever. We're ranking him. Fuck it. We're ranking him. Whatever. Oh, man. I gotta get back. I gotta dedicate myself, man. I gotta sit down and I gotta read all of Sakamoto Days after this. You know what? I was looking for another manga to, like, sit down and binge. The last one I did was Kingdom last year. I know Sakamoto Days isn't as long as Kingdom, but I could probably knock that out pretty quickly. Fuck it. I'm just going to binge Sakamoto Days after this. All right. Here we go. We're starting off. Let's just start off here. Okay, Iroh. All right, from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Iroh, also not really old. He's only like he's like in his early 50s. Okay, so Iroh is definitely above human level. He's a firebender. He can lightning bend, right? Yeah, he can. Pretty sure. I don't remember him lightning bending a lot, but he can lightning bend. He can redirect lightning, certainly. I know he can redirect it. I don't know if he's ever like shown to like fuck you lightning. I don't know if he's ever done that directly, but I'm certain he would be able to. He's the Dragon of the West, for God's sakes. I'm gonna say firmly like superhuman for Iroh. There's like, I don't think Iroh's destroying a mountain with his power, even if it's like juiced up with Sozin's Comet. I highly doubt it. Let's see. Earth King from Avatar World would be elite. Yeah. Not enough to bust mountains. No, definitely enough to like burn a village down or like level a street if he really wanted to. And also the thing about Iroh that's so cool is like, his just like, his demeanor with things and how he's kind of like achieved like that Zen state is that like he doesn't go around and just absolutely obliterate things, but there was a time in his life when he did do that, and he's very terrifying for that reason, right? And there's also like, well, while we're here, might as well ask, like, do you think Iroh could have beat Ozai? Because they both would have gotten the bonus from the comet, and there was even that one like when they're at the camp for the White Lotus in the finale. And they're like, you need to go and beat Ozai because, like, you're, like, the strongest firebender we have. You need to go beat him. And Iroh is like, even if I could beat Ozai, and I'm not sure that I could, it would be the wrong way to end the war. So taking that out of the way, because obviously the Avatar needed to be the one to defeat Ozai, because that's the only way that, like, otherwise it's just going to be one Fire Lord, like, dethroning another Fire Lord. I know Iroh wasn't a Fire Lord, but, like, the world at large might see it like that, like, one brother killing another brother to take the throne or some bullshit, right? They might view it that way. So the Avatar had to do it. But taking that aside, do you think Ozai could have been beaten by Iroh? I don't think that it's really that much of a difference. I think Iroh could have, but I also feel like Iroh would have been like fighting Ozai and it would have been a tough fight. And like at a certain point, I think Iroh's maybe like about to deliver the finishing blow, and I think Ozai would be like, "No, brother, don't kill me, please." And I think Iroh might fucking falter at that moment and not attack or take a second hesitation, and that's when Ozai would be like, "Ha ha!" And then he like, uses a kick to like cut off Iroh's head or some shit like that. I feel like that's how it would have went down if Ozai and Iroh fought all out. I feel like that's how it would have went. He'd be like, "No, brother, please don't," and then Iroh would like flash back to when they were kids, because like we don't really learn that much. I'll do a poll. Yeah, who would win, Iroh or Ozai? Sozin's Comet is active. I'll just put that. Who would win during Sozin's Comet? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, sadly, it does sound very accurate. Yeah, we do not learn very much about Ozai's backstory, and I think that's by design. It's just like he's the big bad evil guy voiced by Mark Hamill at the end of the story that Aang needs to beat. He's pretty much irredeemably evil, and we don't really learn more about him. The only time we try to do the sympathetic angle with Ozai is during the Sozin Comet episodes, during like the finale when they're all hanging out at Ember Island, and I think it was Suki was like rummaging around the attic of the house because it's like their family's vacation house. So Suki pulls out like this old scroll of like a baby, and she thinks it's baby Zuko. So she's like, "Hey, everybody, look, it's baby Zuko." And Zuko's like, "That's not me, that's my dad." And it was like, oh. And so Aang kind of looks at it like this happy little baby playing on the beach. And it's like, oh, that's this horrible monster. That's the Fire Lord that I need to kill. Oh, shit, that's bad. Like, that's the only time they ever try to, I think, sympathize with or humanize Ozai. But yeah, Ozai's way too evil. I mean, yeah, it's Iroh right now, barely, but it's Iroh. Yeah, it goes Sozin, and then it goes Azulon, and then it goes Ozai, and then it goes Zuko. Yeah. Yeah, Azulon was their father. I think we see a couple of pictures or like photos or artwork in the story of like there's Azulon with Ozai and Iroh when they were kids or when they were like young adults or whatever. But yeah, their upbringing was pretty rough. No, I haven't really watched Tokyo Ghoul. I'm assuming there's somebody on there from Tokyo Ghoul. I haven't really seen Tokyo Ghoul. Once again, that's one of those series, like, when it was really popular, I might have seen 2 or 3 episodes. We maybe read, like, the first 10 chapters of it. That was a very long time ago, probably, like, 2013 or 2014 or whenever it came out. Yeah. But Ozai would definitely be a snake and trick him. Yeah, it would be like, "Brother, please remember the time that we were growing up and we were playing ball together, and I hit myself in the face and you helped me." And then Iroh would like stop. He would falter for a brief second, and then Ozai would cut his head off, and that would probably be the end of the fight. Oh my god, it's like 50-50. It's like 50-50. But Iroh barely wins. But there's a 1% margin of error, so like take that for what you will. Oh, man. Yeah, Azulon's probably the reason Ozai turned out the way he is, and Ozai tried to, basically, like, raise Zuko the same way with the Agni Kai, which is what led to the Agni Kai, and, we all know what happened with there. Okay, so, yeah, that's the first person, but, yeah, I think Iroh is firmly superhuman. Okay, AFO. All for one. He's an old dude. He's like 200 years old or some shit. We'd actually never know how old he is. But he's over a century. I think Gran Torino says in the All Might Rising special that he's over a century old. So he's probably somewhere, I'd say, between 150 and like 200, somewhere around there is probably how old AFO is. He's definitely at least Mountain Buster level. Especially when we see now when Tomura was using the power at the end, he's like younger, so he has maybe more power over it. He was talking about using his decay to destroy Mount Fuji and make like the whole country explode. I'm not sure that's what would happen if Mount Fuji erupted, but at the very least, AFO, we could see, like, in the My Hero Academia universe, I don't think we've met anybody that could straight up blow up an entire continent. That's not really quite at that level, but it's certainly a mountain. Certainly he could use a stockpile of stockpile of corpses to, I'm going to combine Rivet Stab, Strength Boost times 100, Bulk Boost, Dark Orb, Evil Wave, boom! Like, he could probably blow off the top of Mount Fuji if he wanted to. Yeah, pretty easily. He could wipe out Australia. Australia's big! Australia's really big. I don't think he's launching, even if he could have a quirk that could simulate a nuclear bomb, which I think could probably be, you could discuss that, like combining enough quirks together to get enough yield to like mimic like a hydrogen bomb or something. I'll give it to you. That he probably might be able to do that. But like, that's not going to blow up Australia. It's a tank. Australia has the highest defense stat out of all of the continents, okay? It's hard to bust through Australia. Will you say Hakuro was able to move faster than someone who's... I don't know who Hakuro is. So it was like, yeah, handsome... Oh, it's Peter from One Piece. Yeah, I'm not going to put all the different Gorosei on here because we got to get through it. I can't put every old man in One Piece on here, like Lao Ji and the Gorosei and Emu and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, we got a Jupiter fan. That's awesome. If there's a Mountain Buster category, why is Scopper not on here? Because we had to make cuts. We had to get moving. I'm sorry, everybody. We could do a sequel to this another day. Yeah, maybe we could do Strongest Old Men just in One Piece. I think that might be better just to do it based off One Piece. But I saw this. I'll tell you why. I saw a meme on Facebook a couple days ago, which give me the idea to do this, which was, it was Whitebeard, Rayleigh, Iroh, Bang from One Punch Man, and Master Roshi and Yamamoto from Bleach. And it was like, which one is the strongest? And I actually had a moment where I looked through all of them and I was like, okay, Iroh's probably the weakest in that regard. Yamamoto's probably the strongest in that regard. Although Roshi, I mean, we'll get there when we get there. But like, yeah, the person who I think is probably going to be the greatest old men tier is probably going to be Zeus or Yamamoto. But we'll see what happens when we get there. Okay, next up we have Brook. Because everyone has to include Brook. All right, what is Brook's, like, greatest feat? Like, if Brook just snapped one day and just wanted to kill everything he could possibly see, Brook's had enough. Brook is just, like, off the chain. He's just like, I'm going for it. All right? How much is Brook fucking up if Brook is freed to just, like, I'm just going to go crazy and murder? Yeah. He's low superhuman, I feel. Yeah, I could see that. Like, he's definitely strong enough to, like, destroy homes and things, like buildings and stuff like that. Like, he could definitely use his Soul Solid, his ice powers to, like, wipe out, like, a few homes or, like, a 3-story building maybe or something like that. Is he stabbing? But the thing is with Brook, his swordsmanship is way more, like, it's more finesse rather than Zoro's, which is more about, like, heavy destruction. Like, Zoro with one sword swing could slice apart, like, an entire town. Like, the buildings would all just, like, all at once. Brook couldn't do that, but he could be more, like, delicate with, like, striking things. I'm gonna say superhuman, probably. I'm debating whether or not. Oh, now we have a fight. Now we have. Maybe I should take, when we have all these ranks done, I should do crossover battles between each one. Like, Brook versus Iroh kind of sounds like a sick fight. I would pay to see that. I don't think that's that uneven. I think Brook versus Iroh, I'd pay to see that. I think that'd be kind of cool. Is this William's kill list? Yeah, this is the list to see how many people William could kill. Yeah. He can tank lightning. Yeah, well, Brook can, so can Iroh. Iroh can redirect lightning too, so what's your point? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the speed difference is a little higher in One Piece, that's true. Oh, the speed always gets you. We'll have to do a crossover battle, which is all about the different, like, oh, we're going to change the, like, it's Brook versus Iroh in a chess competition. Brooke has won every 1v1 he's ever been in. I'd have to go back and check that, but I think you're right. Yeah. All right, okay. So who's next? Almighty! I am here. All right. All Might's probably in the same category as All For One. In fact, just to kind of kick All For One while he's down, I'm going to put All Might above him. All Might in his prime did effectively defeat All For One, and you know that was a crazy-ass battle. He got severely wounded at the offset at the end, but, like, he did beat All For One, right? And if it wasn't for just some, like, bullshit, like, quirks that he had to kind of make him cling to life, he would be dead. It's just that, because you know All Might pummeled his face into the ground until he didn't have a face anymore, right? Like, yeah, and he didn't. It's just that he has, like, quirks that, like, keep his, like, vitality going and shit. All Might is not an old man. This is a debate we had at the beginning of the stream. All Might is, like, in his 50s. A lot of people said he's an old man, so I put him on the list. Here we are. Yeah. All Might gives me Captain Underpants vibes. Tra-la-la-la-la. I remember Captain Underpants. Man, why is it? How old is Captain Underpants? Why isn't he on this list? How old is, like, what was his name? Like, Principal Crumb or something like that. Like, how old is he on the list? Yeah. But yeah, he's like in his mid-50s. Yeah. He's not 40. He had the quirk for over 40 years. And he got the quirk when he was like a high school student. Or maybe a middle school student like Izuku kind of thing. So he's at the very least 55 years old. I would say, at a low estimate, he's 55 years old. Might be more closer to like 57, 58. Yeah. All right, who's next? Dr. Gero. Well, that's more Cell's theme, but it's more robotic and android like. So All right, here's something interesting I saw about Dr. Gero the other day. I want you guys to get, because I never even thought about this in the realm of fucking Dragon Ball Z. Okay, so androids 17 and 18 were humans that were modified into cyborgs by Dr. Gero. And they had a special, like, energy reactor in them that basically gave them infinite ki, right? Okay, why did Dr. Gero not install that in himself? He made an infinite ki generator, like an infinite ki nuclear reactor kind of thing. Why did he not fucking install that in himself? Why did he change 20 and, like, 19 and 20, he's Android 20, into, like, those energy absorption models? Is he stupid? They even joked about that in the abridged. I don't even remember it being mentioned in the abridged. They might have mentioned it. Maybe they did it in the commentaries. Did they mention it in the abridged? I don't even remember. I remember they mentioned, like, why would you make yourself feel pain? And I'm like, that actually does have a good explanation, but yeah. Because science! Did you see my last super chat? No, I didn't, but they're saved. We'll look through them before we end. If Gero is stronger than Namek Frieza... Probably not, but still planet level. He might have not have had the parts. He put all the eggs into one basket. Then why didn't he just, because he turned off 17 and 18 and put them in the stasis. He turned them off. Why didn't he just take out the fucking reactor out of them and then put them into himself in 19? I can understand maybe not putting it in, well, 19 was a pure robot. I don't think 19 was an android. A 19 was, or a cyborg. 19 was, no, a 19 was an android. That's the thing in the dub. Android means you are a robot that looks human. Like the Terminator is an android, okay? Cyborg is like Cyborg from Teen Titans. Part human, part robot, right? Or like Genos from One Punch Man, right? Like Genos is like 99% cyborg or robot, but he has like his brain is still a human brain, okay? So like, yeah. Did 16 have one? I don't think 16 had one. 16 had a nuke in his chest. I remember that. Yeah. 16 and 19 are the only androids. Yeah. The only ones that are well, maybe, I don't know, maybe Android 13 was too. Look at my trucker hat. Yeah, on top of that, to be fair though, key absorbing on top of infinite key sounds like it's easy to overflow error. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, but that's my point though, because this is a big deal, because that's going to be the difference between Dr. Gero being a continent buster and a planet buster. Like, could Dr. Gero blow up the planet? So like, he didn't. But, like, the idea is, like, I don't think he wanted to, because he just wanted to, he had, like, this massive revenge boner for Goku and everybody. He wanted just to kill Goku and all of the Z fighters. So I don't think he wanted to blow up the planet, right? I think he just wanted to kill all the Z fighters, Goku especially, and then, like, I don't know, rule over the planet, I guess. Like, I don't know what Dr. Gero's endgame was after this. Yeah, doesn't it qualify by the proxy of his creations? No, we're talking about Dr. Gero. Yes, 17 and 18 would be able to blow up the planet because they were stronger than Frieza, and Frieza could blow up a planet. But does Dr. Gero himself have the fucking ability to go up into space and do the fucking Frieza death ball and blow up the fucking planet? Yeah. But Piccolo beat his ass. Yeah, but also at that point, Piccolo could... Listen... By this logic, pretty much everybody post Namek, like, okay, not everybody, but like Goku, Piccolo, Vegeta, all those characters should be able to blow up a planet by the end of Namek. And I know there was that scene in the Saiyan saga where Vegeta blew up, not Yardrat, it was the fucking bug world, Arlia. You know, he could have he blew up Arlia. That was anime only, and that was a whole thing that changed a lot of... That hurts when he did that, because it's like, I think they jumped the gun a little bit too much there. Yeah. Yeah, he blew up the moon. Hey, the moon isn't a planet! What does it say right there? What does it say? Does that say Planet Buster, or does that say Moon Buster? Planets are not moons! Different category. Yeah, it only takes like 1500 power level to blow up the planet or some shit. Yeah. Like, yeah. I did not forget JJK because I haven't watched enough JJK to put JJK on the list. Satellite Busters. I don't know. I'm feeling more like a continent level for Gero, honestly. You know, I don't know, man. To be fair, Earth's moon is the largest in our systems. Well, okay. So it's the biggest moon, but it's still a moon. I don't think it's the biggest moon. It is one of the largest moons. Hold on a minute. Alexa.
The biggest known planetary moon by diameter in the solar system is Ganymede.
Yeah, I was going to say Ganymede is bigger than ours. Yeah, I asked my Echo. Yeah, Ganymede, the Galilean moons, some of the Galilean moons are bigger. So Ganymede's bigger. Yeah, okay. All right. Yes, but you know, moon is not planet. Moon does not equal planet. All right, I'm gonna keep Gero at continent buster. Is everybody okay with that? All right, we're going with that. All right, next up, I might have to make a new category for later. We might have to do that. All right, Himmel from Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Himmel was basically like the main protagonist of his story when they were off to beat the Demon King. And it was probably Himmel that, like, dealt the finishing blow to the Demon King and all that shit. And, you know, he was awesome and famous and everything. But he's an old man now, so we're not ranking him based off of how strong he was when he was younger. We're basing him off of right now. So, he's an old man. He might be our first human level, honestly. Yeah, probably just human level. As an old man, he's just this shriveled up guy with a mustache. But damn it, it's a nice mustache. He grew a fantastic mustache in his old age. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He got nerfed big time. Yeah. He just couldn't beat old age. Yep. Can't even stand the evil horns, like, oozing out of his dresser drawer. Yeah. They went on one last journey at Journey's End. God, the first episode of Frieren is so, like... I might watch that right after this. That is such a heartwarming, like, wholesome, but also kind of sad thing, that first episode, where they're just going on that last journey together. Oh, my God. Yeah. Is this actual power scaling or Tekking's cringe power scaling? This is mainly asking you guys and just going with the general consensus. You know, this is basically what that is. Frieren, let me hit, please. Huh? What? What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Yeah, he was probably, like, maybe Mountain in his prime, but not anymore. He's not. All right. Tekking, leave Sakamoto out. People wanted Sakamoto in. The people wanted Sakamoto in. That's why I put him in here. I've only read the first volume of Sakamoto Days. Sakamoto Days. Sorry. But the people wanted him, so the people can have him. But we're not here yet. All right. Whitebeard. Edward Newgate. The strongest man in the world. Matey. All right, if Whitebeard really fucking wanted to, he could probably destroy a continent. You know, his power is literally earthquakes. His power is the ability to just punch the ground and cause the earth to shake. I don't know. Now, okay, when you say Planet Buster, I'm referring to a very specific thing when I say Planet Buster, and I mean Death Star Planet Buster. I mean, blow up the planet. Not destroy all life on the planet. Not create a big crater on the planet. I mean, blow up the entire fucking planet. And I don't think Whitebeard is capable of doing that. Whitebeard could cause, like, huge, like a magnitude 20 earthquake or some shit. And he could probably destroy a continent. He could probably, you know, I don't know, if he tried hard enough, he might be able to crack the red line. But, yeah, he's not blowing up the planet, all right? He can. He cannot. Whitebeard is not punching the ground and obliterating the planet into nothing but stardust. That's not happening, all right? I'm putting my foot down there. Primebeard could. Nah, he couldn't. He could blow up the earth. No, he cannot. He cannot. What is your evidence that Whitebeard is blowing up the earth so there's nothing but, like, fucking space dust left? He's not doing that. I'm sorry. As a One Piece reviewer, I'm putting my foot down on that one, okay? Rocks could have. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking, ladies and gentlemen. He can very easily, even in his old age, destroy islands with his power. And there's mountains on top of islands. There are islands that have mountains, and he could easily destroy an island with his power. So he's above mountain level easy. Continent busters, yeah, he could also probably punch and destroy, like, Alabasta, you know, like create a massive earthquake that just cracks the whole island in half and it sinks beneath the waves. He could probably do that. I could say that. Yeah. Okay. I don't understand how magnitude works. That was an exaggeration. It's like magnitude 20. But he's not destroying the planet Earth. No. They told me I wouldn't shake the planet, so I shook that shit like a crying toddler. Whitebeard probably. Oh god, that's dark. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I've discovered something about, see, this is the thing. I've discovered there's a lot of people that, like, nope, Whitebeard is capable of, like, Death Star obliterating the planet, punching it so hard the whole thing gets blown up. The core, the crust, everything obliterated. Nothing but stardust floating in space. And it is like, I think you're giving Whitebeard a little bit too much credit there. I think you're scaling him up a little bit too much there. Yeah, in my humble opinion, as a guy that talks about One Piece on the internet. Yeah, him next to Jiro is disrespectful. Okay. Well, next up we have Taro Sakamoto from Sakamoto Days, who I have been told is only, like, in his 20s. But the people wanted him, so the people can have him. All right. So we have Taro Sakamoto. I'm gonna say superhuman. I'm gonna say superhuman though. He's a really skilled assassin. Is he beating Brook? Is he beating Iroh? Is this the way this should go? Maybe Brook, Iroh, and then Sakamoto. I don't know. Oh, he's 100% superhuman. Like, the shit he's capable of is very much superhuman. Yeah. Yeah. Is he? I would say he is. From the little of Sakamoto Days that I have read, I'm gonna say he is. Yeah. Yeah, he can make himself slim in an instant. He could go into, like, that mode where he's, like, going around and just crazy. He just, like, slims down and he's just, like, a fucking buzzsaw. Like, I'm gonna say he's superhuman. Though, to be fair, I will freely admit, I've only read, like, the first volume of Sakamoto Days. And I haven't gotten really... I guess I'll have to binge it after this. But, yeah. Yeah, that slim bullshit does seem to be superhuman. I'll put him at the bottom of superhuman, okay? Can he destroy a town? So... I just going off of my limited knowledge here, if he went complete berserk mode, I think he's obliterating a few houses. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's obliterating some houses on a street for sure. Yeah. Like, I might be wrong on this, so let me know. All right, let me put it this way. As superhuman level, right? If Sakamoto got really pissed off, like someone killed his wife, okay, so somebody killed his wife and kids, all right, and his dog for good measure. And how many, do you think he's destroying 2 or 3 houses just going in a fucking rampage? Because I feel like he could easily do that, you know? I feel like he could at least do that, yeah. Not the dog, how dare, we turned Sakamoto into pure John Wick. How much is he fucking up, all right? Like, yeah. You mean cities, right? Okay, I rest my case. He's superhuman then. All right, there you go. There you go. All right. All right, Makarov from Fairy Tail. So Makarov is the 3rd guild master of Fairy Tail. He's a pretty strong guy. It's been a while since I've read the original Fairy Tail. I don't really have any desire to go back and reread it, but I remember Makarov fairly well. He basically turns into a massive, like, Hulk form. You know, he just, like, you know, how dare you hurt my children? And he turns into, like, he hulks out, basically. Super giant muscle form. He wrestled Acnologia during the Tenro Island arc. I remember that. He just turns into just giant form and just wrestles Acnologia, which is, like, one of the strongest dragons. Well, I guess when we get to, you know, 100-Year Quest, he's not the strongest dragon, but he's, like, at least in the same category as the Pentadrakes. So, like, he's like, I'm wrestling a dragon, get out of here! You know? So I'm thinking either continent or mountain. Maybe mountain. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out, like, you know, the most damage they can output here. Do I see Makarov obliterating an entire continent? We'll just have to use Australia for the sake of argument. Okay, from this moment on, the term continent buster specifically refers to Australia. I'm sorry, anybody that lives in Australia, but we're using that as a measuring stick here, okay? Yeah. So, yeah. I do think Acnologia is humoring him at best. Does Acnologia seem like the kind of dude that would humor somebody? He shows up to an island to obliterate the island. He's like, oh, I'll play around with this old guy for a second. Like, I don't know, man. That doesn't sound like... I don't know, man. Australia busters! We're gonna put some shrimp on the Barbie tonight. He does like to play with his food. All right, yeah. Thinking of it that way, rather than just like, I'm gonna fuck around with this old guy and like give him a little bit of like, oh, all right, I'll see if you can actually, I'll give him a little bit of saving face, versus I'm gonna play with my food today. Like, okay, all right, I can see that. Yeah, he's very Madara like. Yeah, he is. Yeah. No one can beat Australia. Oh, man. All right, so, is he blowing up Australia? I don't think so. I don't think Makarov is obliterating Australia. I'm trying to think of, like, the largest scale destruction shit in Fairy Tales. So, the dragons could clearly do some major damage. Like, Acnologia could be... Acnologia at continent level, I could put that on there. The Pentadrakes, too, although I haven't read 100-Year Quest. I kind of dropped that after a while. Are they up to the Gold Dragon yet? I remember thinking the Gold Dragon looked cool, and I would pop in every now and then to see if the Gold Dragon showed up, but I don't know if it's out yet. It's been a while. I remember when the King of the Celestial Fairy Realm showed up, and fought against Mardgeir. I remember that. He was like just swinging his sword, and there was like he had like meteor sword. You know, he was just casually obliterating continents that way, or at least casual mountain busting feats with that sword. So I like the Fairy King is probably continent level, I would say, too. Yeah. The dragons in Fairy Tail are broken. Yeah. They have already defeated the gold dragon. Oh, shit. All right, well, I gotta get back into it. I missed that. All right, yeah. Yeah, Fairy Tail is universal scaling, by the way. Yeah, well, not here it doesn't. Not here it doesn't. This is my realm of power scaling. I was like, yeah. Spirit King with, is universal. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. All right, well, probably continent level, I'd say at best. All right, so moving on to, we have Isaac Netero from Hunter x Hunter. Okay, so here's the thing. Even if we include the miniature Rose Bomb with Netero, which technically speaking isn't his ability. It's just he sets off a nuke. He brought a nuke to the battlefield and he set it off. That's all he did. Is that really his power level? But even if you want to throw the Rose Bomb in there, like he's not continent level even with that. Like, you know what I mean? It's a nuke, which is strong, but I'd say mountain busting level is probably comfortably where Netero kind of fits, like around here. Yeah. You know, his strongest attack is the Zero Hand, where he just releases this it's a giant fuck off energy beam. All right, that he has to really charge his Nen for, and then he uses up all of his Nen and he launches it in one giant energy beam. I could say that could probably blow up a mountain. Maybe it couldn't. But I'm going to say it could blow up at least the upper portions of a mountain. That laser cannon is probably at least reshaping the terrain pretty well. Yeah. Dr. Giro can destroy a planet. I don't know if he can. He downgraded himself from 17 and 18. I don't know if he's on their level, to be honest with you. But not the whole mountain. I'll give it to him. I'll give it to him this way. I don't know if All For One could obliterate the whole mountain. So they're kind of like on the cusp of that. But I'll still give it to him. You know, the mountains come in different shapes and sizes. Not every mountain is Mount Everest. You know, but they can't destroy hills. Hills don't count. It has to be a mountain. But like, you know, hold on, let me check something really quick. Let me check something here. What's the smallest mountain that's considered a mountain on the planet Earth? Smallest mountain in the world. Okay, the smallest mountain is Mount... It's in Australia, actually. Mount Waishi Proof? I don't know how to pronounce that. Located in Victoria, Australia. It is only 148 meters, or 486 feet above sea level. And 42 meters above the surrounding terrain. Yeah, despite its small size, it's officially recognized as a mountain. All right. So, like that's like a 500-foot tall mountain. Like, that's, you know. Man, there's just a lot of shit in Australia. I don't know what to tell you. Australia's just catching strays at this point. This is just like, how many old men can destroy Australia? An army of old men descend upon Australia to fight against all of the kangaroos and the koalas and the funnel web spiders and all of the things here that could kill you. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Australia is basically Hachinosu from One Piece. I mean, it is, yeah. Yeah, Garp is definitely mountain level. Okay, who's next? Oh, Commander Pixis from Attack on Titan. Yay. I'm going to put him above Himmel. I'll put him above Himmel at human level. I mean, that's the point where I would say that, like, with the ODM gear, they're definitely doing extremely athletic things that the vast majority of humans on this planet would not be capable of. But if you want to say, like, the most physically fit, most athletic Olympic, like Olympic tiered athletes could do the kind of shit they do in Attack on Titan. Still probably, like Mikasa and Levi are still very clearly far and above that, on the upper end of that, where it starts getting into the realm of, like, there's no way anybody on Earth could do that kind of shit. But Commander Pixis, I'd say, is firmly in, like, the human level of, like, he can do this kind of shit, right? And I'll put him above Himmel because I think he's a little bit more active. He's in the military, so he probably does, like, morning exercises and stuff like that. He doesn't really fight much. He's more in the commander role, but, you know, he could strap on the ODM gear and go out there probably and do some shit. But I doubt it. I doubt he's not on the level of Mikasa. I mean, Mikasa and Levi, I'd be skirting on the idea of superhuman, but he's clearly human. Yeah. Aang's an old dude. Aang died at like age. Okay, I think he was like in his 60s when he died. Actually, I think he was in his 50s or 60s. I think he was in his 60s. Yeah. All right, who's next? Grandpa Gohan, the man that raised Goku. Grandpa Gohan. I don't think he learned any ki. Okay, I think he knew ki attacks, but I don't think he taught Goku any ki attacks. Because like the first time Goku ever saw like a ki attack, I think was Roshi, when he showed off the Kamehameha. But even so, Gohan and Roshi were friends. So, yeah. But the way that everything works in the Dragon Ball universe, he's probably actually continent level. He couldn't beat an Ozaru. That's right. Ozaru Goku beat the shit out of him. That is true. Yep. I love how it's still like, why is Sakamoto on the list? I mentioned it earlier. Go check it out. Gohan knew ki, but he's not that impressive. All right, so what are we saying for Gohan? Like superhuman? Superhuman, I guess. Probably above these other people. I'm gonna say like he knows like some knowledge of ki. Maybe he's the strongest superhuman. Maybe. Yeah, probably that is probably good. Yeah, I'd say with that. Yeah. All right, I'm okay with Grandpa Gohan being there. All right, who's next? Kaseki from Dr. Stone. All right, so this is skirting human to superhuman level abilities and shit like that. Because the thing about Dr. Stone is that it's supposed to take place in our world and it's supposed to be like regular humans, but then again there's like humans like Tsukasa that can one-shot a lion in one punch. So that's definitely superhuman level. There's nobody that's punching a lion so hard they're flying across the fucking jungle and hitting a tree and dying in one hit. So that's definitely superhuman if it was Tsukasa or Hyo or Maz or somebody like that. Not Hyo. Not what was the fuck was his name? Was it Hyo? Homura, right? I think it was Homura. No, Homura was the I don't fucking remember. Doesn't matter. We're not talking about him. Anyway, so Kaseki is an old man with super flexing feats, and he's also able to like make a bunch of shit really fast. Like you give Kaseki like, hey, you gotta build like 1,000 light bulbs in like a couple of days. He could do it. You know what I mean? So he's on that grind. Hyoza, there it is. Yeah. I'm thinking, yeah, I was like, was his name Hyoga or Hyoza? I'm thinking it was Hyoga, right? It was Hyoga. Yeah. Anyway, so Kaseki, I'm debating whether putting him at the very bottom end of superhuman, because I think there's an argument to be made about that in the Dr. Stone universe. Yeah, his clothing does explode when he gets excited. Yes. And just the fact he has the strength to do things that like a normal person would never be able to do in our world, right? You know, like he's able to just build a crazy amount of things really fast. I'm going to put him at the bottom of superhuman. My man Kaseki, I'm putting him at the bottom of superhuman. You'd be mad at me if you want, but I'm putting him there. All right. It's like, hey man, Kaseki, you got to start building like 5 motorcycles in like 2 days. Can you do that? And he's like, woohoo, let's do it. And it's like, yeah, there's no human that's doing that. All right. Like that's not happening. By hand from scratch. Fuck that. That's not happening. Kaseki's built different. Okay. He's either at the very bottom of superhuman or the highest human. We'll see where this goes, but I'm putting him at the bottom of superhuman. Okay. So next up, we have Rayleigh. All right, what's Rayleigh? What's Rayleigh cutting up? What is Rayleigh slicing up a mountain? Rox was able to slice up a mountain. I think Rayleigh could slice up a mountain. Let's see here. I'm trying to think here, like Rayleigh versus All for One or All Might. That was like if nothing else, I think I think they would be interesting fights. There's probably you're like, oh my god, Tekking, Rayleigh would cut All Might up in like one attack. It's like, I don't know if he would. I don't know, man. I don't know if he would. Yeah, Rayleigh is super close to Whitebeard in terms of power. Yeah, but Whitebeard has a devil fruit that Rayleigh doesn't. If Whitebeard, listen, if we're going about with that logic, I will say this. If Whitebeard did not have his Gura Gura no Mi, he wouldn't be at Continent Buster. The reason he has that is because he has the Gura Gura no Mi, and he's trained with it and probably awakened it. That's why he's up there. Okay? If he didn't have that devil fruit, he's not up there. All right? He's not busting continents anymore. He's not destroying Australia anymore without the Gura Gura no Mi. Okay? So I'm going to keep Rayleigh down here in the Mountain Buster category. I think he could easily slice up a mountain like Rox could. I don't see any problem with that. No. He's a little rusty. He's a little rusty for sure. I'm not putting him at the top of Mountain Buster, but I'll keep him up there. Yeah. That's true. I'm okay with Rayleigh being there. I've talked about Rayleigh a lot of times before. I don't see an issue with that. Let's move on. Then we have Zeno from Hunter x Hunter, who his greatest feat was the Dragon Dive, which is basically a massive air raid on like a large area. And he used that on the Republic of Escorto. He's weaker than Netero. He directly even says that. He's like, I'm weaker than Netero. I don't even really compare to him. It's not even a thing. Like, some people compare us as yin and yang. We're not even close to that. He's way stronger than I am. Okay? So he admits that. So I'm thinking either high superhuman as the strongest superhuman, because his ability could easily level a town. A massive, like a whole city, maybe not, but easily a town. The Dragon Dive obliterated the palace. The palace was the size of like a town. It was a big palace. Completely obliterates the palace and like a little bit of the surrounding area. Is he destroying all of like New York City? Oh, sorry, this is Australia. Is he destroying all of Perth with one attack? Is he destroying all of Melbourne with one attack? I don't know. Maybe he could. Maybe he could. I'm out of tea. Yeah. It's like a napalm strike, city gone, but not leveled. See, that's where I'm thinking. Like, so we're either going high superhuman or low mountain buster. Yeah. Yeah. I'll put him in Mountain Buster, but I'm putting him below Netero because he directly says I'm weaker than Netero. Okay. We'll do that. All right. Yeah. And by the way, for Jiro right now, I'm going to move Jiro up to planet because, yeah, I'm thinking about, like, the absurd, like, Dragon Ball power scaling is kind of crazy. Because, like, even if you take away the Vegeta blowing up Arya in the anime, there's characters like the Ginyu Force should be able to blow up planets during Namek. Vegeta during Namek could probably have blown up a planet. Like, I don't remember exactly what planet-destroying threshold is. Someone said it was 1,500. That seems kind of low, but, like, then again, Dragon Ball. But I'll keep Jiro at Planet Buster for right now. Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, who's next? We got Renpa from Kingdom. Originally from Zhao, and I think he went to Wei, and now he's in the super state of Chu. He is, I think, the strongest one of the Kingdom generals that are on this list. We have Rempa, we have Dukio, and we have Mogo down here. I think Rempa is probably the strongest out of all three. He's definitely stronger than Mogo because he was, like, afraid of him. And Hyo is pretty strong, too. Don't get me wrong. But I'm going to say Rempa is... I think Rempa is the only one that's still alive, to be honest with you. We haven't seen him in a hot minute. I think he went from Wei to Chu, and we haven't seen what's up with him since. So, yeah, he's probably the highest level of human. The thing in Kingdom is there's some exaggerations a lot with the power scale and stuff. But the point is, like, is Renpa with one swing of a glaive destroying an entire town? No, that's not how that works in Kingdom. Some of the most absurd power scale you get is like, you know, a human decapitating a horse in like one swing, or one like a general like being 7 feet tall and like decapitating like 12 dudes that are surrounding him all at once. Like, we'll see that kind of shit in Kingdom. But nothing on the level of like Renpa or Oki swings their glaive and an entire town is obliterated. Like, there's nothing of that scale in Kingdom. I don't think I read the whole thing last year. I don't remember anything that absurd. So, yeah. Kingdom is great, by the way. I'd recommend it. Go read Kingdom. But yeah, all the Kingdom generals are probably firmly like highest tier of human level. Yeah, I would say that sounds superhuman. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It does. They're not destroying buildings, but so is Kaseki. Kaseki's probably not destroying a building either. Well, like, okay, you know, could Kaseki go into a tavern and wreck the building? Yeah. Could Renpa go in and level a building? Sure. Dude, that's tough. That's tough there. Yeah. Would they beat Sakamoto? See, I don't know enough about Sakamoto days to know if he would beat Sakamoto. Yeah, but I would feel like a battle between Renpa. Well, Sakamoto has guns. Sakamoto would shoot Renpa about 37 times before he even, like, yeah, so that is the thing there. Yeah. Kaseki is building a building in like 2 minutes. That is true. He could do that, yeah. Now people are like, I think Jiro should be continent level. Yeah, Sakamoto characters are all superhuman, yeah. Sakamoto doesn't kill anyone, though. But in this scenario, his wife and children and dog are all murdered. In this scenario, all of the people he cared about are dead, and he went full John Wick. Yeah, that's the thing about Dragon Ball that's always the contentious thing. Like, I think Toriyama really didn't put a lot of thought into, like, power scaling, which makes sense. He's, in one sense, at the beginning, Dragon Ball was much more of a comedy manga. Can we at least agree on that? At the very beginning. Maybe not when we start getting to the tournament, it's a little different, but there was definitely more of a comedic focus, especially in that first arc of Dragon Ball, right? So by the time, and like the arc where Roshi blows up the moon is only the second arc of the fucking manga. Right, so, like, there's a little bit of, like, I'm gonna have Roshi blow up the moon. And it's like, yeah, that really set a precedent, didn't it? Yeah, that really set things up, didn't it? Yeah. Yeah, he put, let's be honest here. Toriyama put that in there because it's fucking badass. Like, I'm gonna have fucking, you know, Roshi blow up the moon. Why? Because it's fucking cool. That's why. Yeah. All right, so I'm trying to think of, like, the most devastation. Like, okay, so Renpa is not blowing up a town with one swing, but he could very easily level a few buildings. It would take him a while. It's not going to be like one swing is blowing up a building, but if he walked into a village, could he single-handedly wreck the buildings in that village? Like, demolish the buildings himself? Yeah, easily. Probably would take him a little bit, you know, but he could, you know, yeah. So, does that qualify as superhuman? Yeah, I'd say it would be. I'll even put him above Kaseki there, because I think he could beat Kaseki up pretty easily. I'll put him in between Kaseki and Sakamoto. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, give him a few hours, Rempa could level a town. Like a small village. Yeah, I could see that. You're right. If he had mountain-sized opponents, it would technically be mountain level. Well, I put him at mountain level, so there we go. We'll do that. Yeah. Maybe we need building level. Well, that's kind of what Superhuman is sort of street level, building level. Pixis isn't blowing up a building. Himmel in his old age isn't leveling a town or a building or a street, so I'm okay with that. You know? I think Kaseki barely qualifies, but maybe. Yeah, the moon gets destroyed in Dragon Ball so many fucking times. All right, who's next? Dracula from Castlevania Netflix. All right. He's able to, like, send a firestorm of, like, you know, burning magma and blood on an entire city. So that's easily superhuman. Easily superhuman there. I would put him above Grandpa Gohan. I would put him as the strongest superhuman. Off the cuff, that's the immediate thing I'm going with. Beyond that, is he a mountain level threat? Because when he was fighting Alucard, he was tossing Alucard around like a fucking ragdoll. He's summoning the giant, like all the stuff he does in the video games. He's summoning the giant magma balls, and he has magic, and he's super tough, super endurance, super speed, super strength, all that shit. Is he destroying towns? Yes. Is he destroying even larger cities? Yes. Is he lifting up entire mountains and destroying them? I'd say no. But then again, we also have to think about Zeno, because like we might be talking about similar keels here between Zeno and Dracula. Zeno could dragon dive an entire city. Dracula does stuff kind of similar to that with like Targovishta. He kind of like he fucking descends hell on Targovishta. All right, yeah. So I would say it's either we move Zeno down to superhuman, kind of him and Dracula on even kill, or we move them both up to mountain, or we could keep it the split right there. Dude, a Zeno versus Dracula fight actually sounds badass too. That actually sounds kind of badass. That is true. Keep in mind, he was old, but he also was in deep depression, so he was a little weakened there. Yeah. But we gotta maybe do it based off what we saw. Keep it like this. You know what? I'm honestly kind of okay with this. Yeah. Yeah. Zeno is the gatekeeper for mountain-destroying feats. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Putting Isaac Netero up there as one of the strongest Nen users, being able to destroy a mountain. Like, being able to destroy a mountain is a crazy big feat in Hunter x Hunter. Like, you can name how many people could destroy a mountain. Like, Netero maybe, Meruem definitely. Dark Continent level threats, yes. Not a lot of other people that could do that, though. Hisoka's not destroying a mountain. Krollo's not destroying a mountain. Uvogin's not destroying a mountain. No, he's not obliterating a mountain. He's making a big-ass crater, but he's not destroying a mountain. Aluka, yes. So that's another character. But Aluka is like, just like every member of the gaseous being I could probably do that. I mean, Aluka is like dimensional level threat if we're being like straight up. My mom wants me to buy Oreos for her some baked good thing she's baking. Chocolate covered pretzel Oreos. Limited edition. She can't find them. She wants me to buy them for her. Okay. Has anybody ever heard of chocolate covered pretzel Oreos? It actually does sound good. That sounds good, yeah. Hold on, I got to text Briggs really quick to see if we're doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Today. Yeah. Yep. Doing back-to-back live streams today. Should be good. I'm gonna eat lunch after this and then go get some coffee, and then we'll do Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, in which case we got to get moving. We're moving along. I mean, we only have, like, we're about halfway through. A little bit over halfway through. Sounds yummy. Sounds good. Yeah, I love the dark chocolate Oreos. Those are my favorite personally. I don't like birthday cake Oreos. I don't like the overly sweet birthday cake flavor, like sprinkles and like icing flavor. I'm weird. I don't like that. It's too sugary for me. But yeah, dark chocolate's good. Phaeton's not blowing up a mountain. Adult Gon, yeah, I'll give it to you. I'll give Adult Gon to you. So that's like what, like 4 characters, 3 if we're not including Aluka with her broken abilities. So we'll go with maybe 3 characters that could destroy a mountain. And Netero's even kind of a maybe on that one. He could destroy maybe a good chunk of it, but like, you know, yeah, he could destroy a small mountain, small one. All right. All right, who's next? Hiruzen, Sarutobi, 3rd Hokage. He's pretty strong. I mean, he knows a lot of jutsus. There's a lot of stuff. We have Jiraiya and Hiruzen actually back to back here, which is pretty cool. He has a lot of fire jutsu. He could summon Monkey King Enma. What's he doing in the Naruto universe here? What is Hiruzen really doing? Let me look up a list of the jutsus he's capable of really quick here. Let's see what we got here. Naruto, Hiruzen. Let's see here. He does have the Reaper Death Seal, but can the Reaper Death Seal destroy a mountain? See, that's the thing. There's so many jutsus that don't have to deal with, like, giant fuck-off energy attack that just destroys something, right? It's more about, like, effects on other people. So he's got that. Earth Dragon. But a lot of this stuff was anime only, too. We actually didn't really get to see that much shit he could do in the manga. There was a lot of this stuff that was anime only. I remember, like, the Earth Dragon Bomb, Fire Dragon Bomb, Great Mud River. Like, those attacks against Orochimaru at the beginning of their fight, those are all anime only. Shadow Clones, Shuriken Shadow Clone technique. That's what he used to stop the reanimation jutsu. Telescope technique. That's what he used to spy on girls in the bath, I think. I think he used it for that. Yeah. So, yeah. We don't really have a crazy amount of, like, feats for him, to be honest with you. As an Edo Tensei, he was capable of doing some things, but we're not using Edo Tensei form Sarutobi here. Yeah. Buildings for... He's definitely superhuman level. Like, that's already there. Is he reaching the vaunted heights of Zeno? I don't know, man. I kind of want to put him here. I kind of want to put him... I kind of want to go Zeno as the top of superhuman, then Dracula not far behind. Like, Zeno and Dracula, I think, might be comparable. And then Hiruzen down there is maybe, like, a little bit lower down, but still really tough. How is Dracula so low? Dracula, we haven't seen blow up a mountain or a continent. That's why. Dracula's not blowing up Australia. Yeah, there's no planet busters in Naruto. You say that, but didn't Naruto blow up, like, the fucking moon in one of the movies? Like, wasn't there a movie where Naruto blew up a fucking like, maybe not the whole thing, but, like, a chunk of the fucking moon? Oh, yeah. Dracula is stronger than Zeno. All right, what's your evidence? Give me some proof and evidence on that. Let's scientific method this shit. Just a hole in the moon. Yeah, just a minor hole in the moon. The moon got cut in half. Oh, I'm sorry. Cut in half is different from being destroyed, right? It is true. That is different. Yeah. The only canon movie is the movie where the moon gets cut in half. Damn. He deflected an attack which sliced the moon in half. Okay. Or did he deflect it or did he tank it? Because there's a difference. Yeah. You can't cut a moon in half? Oh, no. I could cut a moon in half. I cut a moon in half last week. Yeah, you know, Jupiter has like 90 moons. You probably couldn't tell because Jupiter has like 90-something moons. So, you know, it already has a lot. But, like, there's one less moon now because I cut it. There's actually 2 extra moons now because I did that. Yeah, whatever. Not a big deal. Yeah, Jupiter has like 90. I actually had to look this up recently. Me and a friend were talking about it, and I had to look it up. Yeah. You did that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure I did, yeah. Yeah, totally me right there, yep. That was my favorite Jupiter moon. I don't think they all have, like, unique names after a while. Like, it's like with Rick and Morty. It's like, okay, hey, Saturn, after you have so many moons, it's time to stop naming and start numbering. Because you have the Galilean moons, Ganymede, Calypso, Io, and Europa, that are all like the moons that Galileo discovered because they're the biggest ones. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they all have unique names. I think they just start numbering them after a while. Yeah. I could do that. I just don't want to. Oh man. But I'm gonna go with putting Sarutobi down here in superhuman category. I don't see him blowing up a mountain. I don't see him blowing up a continent, and I certainly don't see him blowing up a planet. So there we go. All right, who's next? Jiraiya. Same deal. I would maybe put him higher than Sarutobi. Well, once again, it's difficult because like maybe mountain level for Jiraiya, maybe mountain for Jiraiya. I don't know, because he does have Sage Mode. He does have Sage Mode, and Sage Mode's able to do some cracked shit, but he also didn't perfect Sage Mode, right? Yeah. Jiraiya's Sage Mode is stated to carve mountains apart. Yeah. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you on that one. I'll give it to you. Sage Mode does give you, because Sage Mode, the whole thing of like Sage Mode that gives it such a boost is you draw energy from the natural world around you, so you're no longer limited by your own chakra reserves, your physical energy or anything. You're adding something new to the reserves, and there's like not infinite amounts of nature energy, but there might as well be when a human is using it. So yeah, being able to carve up mountains and shit, I could see him. I could see it. I'll give it to you. Yeah. Yeah, he could spam Big Ball Rasengan in Sage Mode. He could blow up some small mountains. I don't know if he's blowing up Mount Everest with one attack or some shit, but he could carve up mountains for sure. Yeah. See, yeah, but the third Hokage didn't have Sage Mode though. So yeah, this is the thing when you come to like power like comparisons. Like, well, if Jiraiya could do this, then Sarutobi should be able to do this too. I'm like, well, Sarutobi didn't have Sage Mode. Yeah. Yeah. If the mountain was vaguely curvy, if it was vaguely feminine in shape, then he could destroy it. Oh yeah. Yeah, Naruto tanked it, not deflected it. My bad. Yeah, that's a different story altogether. Naruto's not on this list, though. Be crazy. All right, who's next? We got to get moving, because I have Yu-Gi-Oh! In 2 hours. Gran Torino from My Hero Academia. He's superhuman. He's superhuman. He has jet propulsion abilities. He has, like, some pretty good strength, but he's also pretty old. I might actually put him, further down here. Rempa versus Gran Torino. I think that might seem kind of... I might even put him down here, honestly. Like, yeah. I don't see... Even like a super tough, trained military general like Renpa versus an old dude that zips around really fast. I don't know, man. I don't know about this. Like the whole idea of Gran Torino is he uses his jet quirk to speed up really fast and slam into you. So definitely like knock him around, but I don't know, man. Rempa if Rempa manages to get a hit out on fucking Gran Torino, oh, that's gonna do a fuckload of damage. Like, cause he's a human, right? He doesn't have like adamantium skin or something like that. He's fucking human. Yeah, he's still alive at the end. No, barely alive. He's like, my canon is Gran Torino died shortly after the end of My Hero. Shortly after. I don't think, did we see him in the epilogue? If we see him in the epilogue, whatever, disregard that, but yeah. All right. Who's next? Yamamoto. All right. Yamamoto's fucking planet level. Yamamoto might be a contender for greatest old man of all time. I'm going to keep that slot empty until the end, but for right now, he's planet fucking level, is Yamamoto. Yamamoto channels the power of his Bankai, which is the heat of the surface of the fucking sun. All right? That's obliterating the planet Earth. And the only reason, like, and the Seirete is made out of, like, reishi and shit. So when he used it there, it's like it didn't get destroyed immediately, and they mentioned it would have. They mentioned it would have destroyed the Seirete eventually, but it's, like, made out of sturdier shit because it's, the Seirete. But if he would have activated his Bankai in the living world, oh, that would have obliterated the fucking planet. Like, that would have been, that's way too goddamn strong. Yeah. Yeah, Yamamoto is fucking causing nuclear fusion at the drop of his Bankai. Yeah. His Bankai burns hotter than the sun. Well, it doesn't matter. If it's, okay, hot as the sun or hotter than the sun, regardless. If he activated that in the center, if he activated that in the center of Australia, the planet is just gone. The planet is obliterated from that. Yeah. But yeah, incinerate. I think that's all that needs to be said about Yamamoto. Bankai! Zonko no Tachi! Zonko no Tachi West! Zonko no Tachi South! Hold on, let me actually read the names. I don't have time to spare, but I'm just going to do this anyway, because Bleach is awesome. See, because Yamamoto's attacks are so, like, long and very intricate, because he's so badass. Zonko no Tachi Nishi. Zanjitsu Gokui. Zonko no Tachi Minami. Kaka Jumon Okushi Daishojin. Damn, that's fucking cool. Zonko no Tachi Kita. Tenchi Kaijin. Oh, man, I love Yamamoto. Yamamoto is such a fucking badass. Oh, yeah. Why is Lelouch v. Britannia's dad on the list? I don't know, it was on the list. He was on the list. This was like a thing that was included. I added a few extras, but he's on the list. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Bang from One Punch Man. All right. Bang! This motherfucker. This old guy. Bang right here. I don't think he's continent level. I don't know. Bang beat the shit out of Garo. Bang is able to handle some crazy level crap. However, it was shown he could not destroy the meteor. When the meteor was about to hit the city, he was like, yeah, I don't know if I can't really do anything about this. So there is a limit to what he's capable of. But Bang, I think at the very least, is a mountain level fucking threat in fucking One Punch Man. Like, he is actually incredibly powerful. And he's just like the martial artist. Like, he's not even like, he doesn't have some crazy superpower. I mean, he does. He has a superpower. But he's just like a really powerful fucking martial artist. But holy shit. Bang is crazy powerful. Oh, man. He fought Monster Garo and, like, actually managed to pummel him. He beat him up. Holy fuck, man. And this is where we get into the whole thing where, like, Monster Garo probably could have obliterated that meteor, and Bang beat the shit out of Monster Garo. So, like, you feel like, oh, wait, then wouldn't Bang be able to do it too? I mean, I don't know. He didn't try. It's not like he tried to destroy the meteor. Yeah, he can only fight close combat, so I guess, well, wait a minute. Yeah, let's think about that. Could Bang have, like, jumped and then punched the meteor and then have destroyed the meteor that way? Probably could have. Bang does what his name... Okay, I see what you did there. Yeah. I thought we weren't doing chain scaling. No, we're not. That's my point, though. Like, I was just bringing that up as a side thing. I'm not actually doing that. I'm just saying that, like, interesting that he could be... is more of, like, me mentioning the whole, like, maybe an inconsistency in One Punch Man, right? It's just like, okay, because I remember when Bang started pummeling the shit out of Monster Garo, and I'm like, what? What the fuck? Seriously? He can do that? All right. But even without that, like, he's still able to fucking pummel a mountain. Like, he's Bang. Yeah. He's mountain level, I think, for sure. I remember when Bang trolled Genos when he's like, I think I see something happening. Really? Oh, nope, sorry, just my imagination. Yeah. Yeah, if we're going that direction with it, we'd probably have to bump on up to, like, above Monster Garo, which is, like, on the cusp of planet to continent. So I'm not putting him up that high. I think mountain is appropriate for him. Yeah. Okay, who's next? Zeus. Okay, so for right now, I'm just going to keep him here. For right now, I'm going to keep Zeus right here. He probably is going to win this whole thing, but I'm just going to put Zeus at the top of Planet Busters for right now. Yep. Superhuman next. Regular human. Get him out of here. Zeus is cracked. Yeah, Zeus is... He's actually the legitimate GFOC. He's the grandfather of the godfather of the cosmos. He's Zeus. He's legit Zeus. Dude, I just realized that entire fight, he never used lightning. That entire fight with Adam. Did he ever use lightning? That's kind of Zeus's thing, right? He uses lightning, right? Did he use that when he went into the Adamus form? I don't think he did. Did he? I don't think he did. I think he just beat the shit out of him. And then Adam beat the shit out of him. Nah, no, never used lightning. Huh. That is a, that seems like to be a business. Then again, Thor fought him right beforehand. Thor was up first. Which, by the way, the design of Thor from Record of Ragnarok's not really my favorite, but it's okay. And Thor, is more lightning. Yeah. No, I know he fought with his fists, but like a lightning fist. Or like, I guess that they could have easily done the lightning fist kind of thing. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Zeus is fucking Zeus from mythology. Like, there's really nothing else for me to say about him. He's just the strongest person so far on this list. All right, next up we have Old Man Joseph Joestar. Oh my god! Yeah. So, there we go. I think superhuman or maybe high human. Okay, let's think about this really quick. What is Joseph able to do? He has Hamon, and he has Hermit Purple, right? But, Poseidon didn't use water either, which is strange. I'm just saying that's a little strange, given the fact that's what their god, that's what they are, but, like, whatever. Anyway, so he has Hermit Purple, and he has Hamon. Although I think admittedly his Hamon's not as strong as it was when he was younger because he's older now. But he still has it. He can still use it. He survived a fall from space. That was young Joseph. This is old Joseph. If this is in part 4, he's barely scraping superhuman because he's senile. In part 4, I would say he's human level. In part 3, which is what the image is here, I'll say he's superhuman level. But let's see. Who's kicking Joseph's ass here? Is Kaseki kicking Joseph's ass? I don't think so. Is Gran Torino kicking Joseph's ass? I think it's a little bit more even, but I think Gran Torino might be kicking Joseph's ass. I think Rempa's kicking Joseph's ass. All right, I think Sakamoto is kicking Joseph's ass. Sorry, Joseph. Yeah, I'm gonna put him above Kaseki. I'll put him above Kaseki, but below Gran Torino. I'm putting him right there. Yeah. I'll put him in superhuman, but I'm going to keep him right there near the end. Yeah, he's very low super. Because, Hermit Purple doesn't give you battle capabilities. It lets him, like, swing around on vines like Spider-Man a bit and shit like that, but it doesn't do anything at it. It can, like, Hamon only works against vampires and shit. Although, Joseph versus... Wait, hold on a minute. Joseph versus Dracula. Joseph versus Dracula, though. I still think Dracula's kicking his ass. Yeah. Really? Sakamoto's 28. I didn't know that. Nobody's mentioned that. You're the first person to mention that in the whole stream. No, I didn't watch a lot of Sakamoto days. I only read the first volume like a long time ago, and I forgot that he was younger. And some people said at the beginning, we should put Sakamoto on here. And then I did. And then everyone's like, he's 28. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I can't remove the image, so he's here now. Like, okay, he's here now. Yeah, I'm older than Sakamoto, too. I'm 32. Yeah. Yeah, Dracula has magic. He'll be fine. Yeah. All right, who's next? Onoki. Okay. Now, Onoki, particle disassembly jutsu, literally has the power to atomize shit. I'd say same as Jiraiya, easy, yes. To maybe even higher than Jiraiya, because his jutsu is particularly catered to obliterating matter. Or atomizing matter. Yeah, so, okay, Onoki destroyed so many of the mountain-sized perfect Susanos on his own. All right, yeah. I know he's definitely mountain level. I was going to put him in mountain level. I'm thinking about trying to make a case for continent level, but I just don't think he has the AoE, the size for that, right? I don't think he's obliterating a continent in one attack or in a series of attacks. Maybe if you say, like, if Onoki has 1 million attacks, he could obliterate Australia, but we're not doing that. I'm going to say attack or like a series of attacks that takes place in a reasonable amount of time. You can insert reasonable into whatever you mean there, but it's not like Onoki has 100 years to destroy Australia, all right? Yeah. He could probably pick up Australia. Yeah, okay. He was able, yeah, because he has the super lightweighted jutsus. Well, let's figure this out here. Hold on. Alexa, how much does Australia weigh?
I don't have an answer.
Okay, all right. Well, hold on. We'll chat GPT this. Okay. How much does the continent of Australia weigh? All right, what do we got here? Yeah, I know it isn't calculated as typical. Just give me a number. 77 trillion metric tons. All right, let's go with that. 77 trillion metric tons. And he barely stopped that meteor with Gaara's help, and it looked like he was about to die of a stroke. So, like, yeah, I'm going to say he can't lift up all of Australia. Yeah. Are you... yeah, throw it into New Zealand. Yeah. How about the UK? We're not doing UK. We're scaling with Australia today. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to keep him up there. I'll put him higher than Jiraiya. All right, Old Man Solomon Moto. Well, I mean, obviously, you know, Old Man, Grandpa Moto is the highest level of the greatest old man ever. He has Exodia. That's his ability. He has Exodia. Exodia. The strongest card ever. I actually am going to build Exodia. I have an Exodia thing over here. Yeah. See? I have an Exodia, like, whole thing I'm going to build soon on a live stream. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I have Exodia over here. We're going to build him together. That'll be nice. I made a thumbnail for it the other day, so probably pretty soon. So he does have Exodia. Can do that. And always remember that, like, my grandfather's deck has no pathetic cards, Kaiba. But it does contain the unstoppable Exodia. I think in terms of pure power, I think Grandpa is probably the lowest level character on this whole list, aside from people down here that I don't know that much. I think Himmel could kick his ass. I think Himmel at least has trained and fought dragons and shit before. I think Himmel could probably beat Grandpa Moto. Pixis could definitely beat Moto. Yeah. What deck does Whitebeard play, though? What deck does Zeus play? Oh, dude. But yeah, he's human level, but man, we love him. He's the best. Okay. All right, now, okay, we're getting to Roshi. You know what I was thinking about yesterday? Because I was going to do this video yesterday, and I couldn't, but... remember that scene in the manga in Super when Roshi is, like, outpacing Jiren? And is, like, dodging every fucking attack that Jiren's throwing at him, and he's just like, oh my god, it's like he knows Ultra Instinct! Ah, God, power scaling in Dragon Ball across the different series hurts sometimes. Yeah. The classic old man, the somewhat problematic old man. The very problematic old man, if we're being honest with ourselves here. Especially, like, this scene during the Tournament of Power when he was fighting that Universe 4 lady, the butterfly lady, I think. That's also... Oh, Jesus. Okay, yeah, this guy's power level's all over the fucking place. Yeah. Everyone's favorite anime grandpa. That didn't happen in the anime, though. I know it didn't happen in the anime, though. Yeah. All right. So Roshi can easily destroy a planet. I guess we'll just start with that, right? I mean, he's blowing up moons. And we've already, if we're already, I mean, if Jiro's on the list here, we got to put him up there too, from the same universe. He can blow up a fucking planet, probably. He is beating Cell. Yep. Yep. No old women? Well, this is the old dudes ranking. That's how it goes. Yeah. Roshi beat a platypus. Yeah. Roshi blew up the moon twice. Yeah, so 2 moons equal a planet. All right, now we're talking. 2 moons equal a planet. All right. Oh, yeah, I'm going to put him up there. I'm putting him above Jiro just because I don't want Roshi to be above, Roshi to be below Dr. Jiro. Yeah. That was a skill duel, not a strength duel. Yeah, I think we all agree that if Jiren... Wait, did Jiren punch him once? I feel like he was dodging really well, and then Jiren did end up hitting him at one point. I might be misremembering that scene, though. Because you'd think one punch from Jiren should be enough to completely, like, kill Roshi. Roshi's also, like, 300 years old, too. He's, like, super old. Yeah. Jiro punched him, and then Roshi just dodged him. So Jiren never actually came in contact with him. All right, that's good that at least that never happened. Because if that happened and he was still able to move, that's like, ooh, no. All right. How powerful Roshi was, and Toriyama replied that he's however powerful he needs to be. All right, cool. So that gives you an idea of how Toriyama and a lot of authors, I think, worked, especially back then. I think the internet really introduced that whole new idea. Like, power scaling certainly exists back in the day, but the internet brought it to a whole other level because now you have, like, entire people sitting down and having, like, a whole symposium basically on power scaling and series about power scaling, and I suck at it, and I freely admit that. But, like... It's a different dynamic now that I think holds up mangakas to a different standard than existed in the 80s and the 90s, right? It's like that old question that people would ask Stan Lee, like, who wins, Hulk or Thor? And he would always give the answer of, like, whoever the well, Stan Lee wouldn't say whoever the fuck, but he would be like, whoever I need to win in that scene, whoever the author wants to win. If Spider-Man wants to win, he wins. If Thor wants to win, if he wants Thor to win, he wins. If Hulk wants to win, he wins. You know, basically he's saying that these are all just comic book characters. The authors get to control what they do. It doesn't matter if it's inconsistent. That's what we do, right? I think that's a very old-timey way of looking at comics. Well, I'm not an expert on Western comics, so I don't know. But at least in terms of manga, I think there's a little bit more of a higher standard now of, like, trying to keep battle levels at least a little consistent to the way that it is now. Yeah. It's not that hard to power scale, to be honest. Well, apparently I suck at it. How could you resist watching Tokyo Ghoul? I watched, like, I remember watching a couple of episodes of it. I remember reading, I think I read more of the manga, honestly. I read up to the manga. I think I got to the point where he met, like, that group that were trying to, like, help him with stuff, and they gave him, like, coffee. I think it was, like, chapter 7 or 8 or some shit like that. I didn't read that far into it. Man. Anyway, Jiro from Toriko. Oh, God, Jiro is cracked. This guy, in a weakened, restrained form, was able to stop the rotation of the Earth, or very nearly stop the rotation of the Earth, however the fuck that means what. Power feats in Toriko are crazy, actually. But yeah, there's one scene at the beginning of the first part of the story where he's like, grand knocking, and then just hits the ground really hard, and the Earth just fucking just stops. And it's like, the fuck? And then later you find out that's not even like, that is like him with like 2% of his real power. You find out later he has all these seals on him, and it takes him forever to take off all the seals. And then finally he takes them all off, and he's like probably easily planet level at that fucking point. Maybe even galaxy level, given the fact that Toriko gets really absurd near the end. Yeah, Prime Jiro is casually large planet buster. And that's the thing, like, he uses knocking, like, okay, so saying he's an old dude, it's a little difficult because he does age, but he also uses his ability to stay young, so he can turn back into his younger form whenever he wants. So, like, chronologically, he's old. He's really old. He's probably, I think, over 100 years old. But he could just like undo his knocking and he turns back into like the prime of his youth, like whenever he wants, right? So it's like, I don't know how you couch that exactly. Like we're not saying he's prime Jiro. He's like always prime Jiro because of his ability, right? Yeah, but Jiro can casually obliterate planets at his full strength. And I still to this day am kind of salty at the way that he lost. Because it was just like he was fighting against Acacia, and Acacia was his master, and he's like, "Oh, I'm the one that taught you how to use all your knocking, so I can just touch you and then undo all the knocking, and then all the damage you stalled throughout your entire life just hits you like a truck all at once, and you die." And it's like, oh, that makes sense, but that also kind of sucks. I was like, wow, and we only got to see like 1 or 2 chapters of him really being a badass, and that was it. Yeah, but yeah, he's like the absurd scale of Toriko near the end. He's definitely planet level. So next up we have Duke Hyo from Kingdom. The Kingdom characters I'm going to kind of put all in the same basic area. I'm going to say Hyo is weaker than Rempa, but just barely. I think the same kind of deal. I'm picturing Gran Torino fighting Rempa and fighting Hyo. And I'm thinking like the same kind of outcome is occurring here, where I think one hit from either of these dudes is probably going to rock Torino's world. But he can also fly really fast and hit them really hard. Hyo also has this. Hyo has this really cool shield that he actually gave Shin when he died, and Shin hasn't used it yet. And I'm really, this happened like, in chapter like 200 or some shit. We're on chapter like 900 of Kingdom or 800 something of Kingdom. So I'm really waiting for the moment where Shin pulls out Hyo's shield. Like I'm really waiting for that. But he hasn't done it yet. Duke Hyo stronger than Rempa? I don't know, man. Rempa was mentioned to be like on the level of like Oki. Like he was like great general, like 6th grade general level kind of shit. He was strong as fuck. That's true. I don't know. Was Hyo like Oki great 6th grade general level? Was Hyo that? I think you can make an argument for it. That'd be tough. I'm putting them side by side. I think Rempo would win. Attacking, you're starting to become an old dude. Yeah. Yeah, big and mighty. All right, who's next? Ichiryu. All right, same deal with Jiro. This guy is... Well, it's interesting because, like, when he used techniques, I think the strongest technique we saw him use... in terms of just sheer power, was the ability to basically launch the chopstick cannon and it like escaped orbit. So he's definitely Ichiryu is Continent Buster, I think, easily. See, that's the thing. Like, was Jiro stronger than Ichiryu? That's tough. Because you gotta understand, like, the amount of shit Jiro does we just see a lot more, I think, of Jiro by the end. Because with Ichiryu, he had Minority World, which, like, does a bunch of shit that is really complicated to explain, but essentially it does its opposite world, is basically what it is. So could he destroy the planet with Minority World? It makes, like, everything kind of fall apart. Like atoms no longer can really stick together because of the way it works. Like, he's basically reversing the laws of nature. It's more like reality level shit. So, like, when he activates Minority World, it's like the ground becomes soft and gravity gets reversed. And, like, it's such a fucking metaphysical weird power. Yeah, Minority World probably does destroy the planet. And he was also, it's one of those things where, like, when he was fighting Midora, he's obviously not trying to destroy the planet. He's trying to make sure it's not completely covering the place. He doesn't want to obliterate the planet. Could he have, though? I think he could have. I think Midora, Jiro, and Ichiryu all had the ability to destroy the planet in Toriko. Midora definitely did. Midora 100% had the ability to destroy the planet. 100%. Jiro also definitely could do that, and Ichiryu is the oldest of the 3 siblings, so I'm going to say he could too. Yeah. Yeah, Ichiryu held back. 100% he held back. There's no way. He held back because it was his brother and all that shit, yeah. That is hacks. It was a very hacks ability that we saw. He used it, and then Midora copied it and used it later. Yeah, I guess King Bradley could have been on this list too, but he didn't end up on it. All right, old man Leif Erikson. Okay, here's the real battle of the day. Who's stronger, Solomon Moto or Leif Erikson? I'm going to say Leif Erikson, because Leif Erikson, while he wasn't a Viking, he was a dude that grew up in the year like 1000 CE, around there. He had to grow up. He was a sailor. In that world, doing that kind of life, being a sailor in that era, even if you're not a Viking going around pillaging, like, like you still have to be hardy. You have to be tough. You have to be strong. You can't be a weakling in that world, right? Like, you just can't be. Because it's like a lot tough. Like, you have to haul a lot of heavy shit around. Like, it's tough. So I'm gonna say Leif Erikson could still beat up Solomon Moto. Yeah. Yeah, that Leif is a sailor. That gives you stats. It does. He gets stats. Grandpa Moto is just like, does anyone want to play a rousing game of Duel Monsters? I could beat you in Duel Monsters. Hey, I bet, here's something for Solomon Moto. He could beat anybody here in Duel Monsters. Is there a single character on this list that's losing in Duel Monsters? That he loses to in Duel Monsters? Because I don't think there's a single one. Who's the smartest person on this list? Hold on. Who's the most intelligent old man on this list? Probably Iroh. Iroh or maybe Gohan. No, Hiruzen. Hiruzen was really smart too. Dracula. Oh, Dracula is... I'm going to say Dracula might be the smartest. Because Dracula lived for a long time and he knew a bunch about science. Like, he dedicated himself to learn about science and shit. Iroh knows more about, like, life skills. Iroh knows a lot about chess and, like, shogi and Pai Sho and, like, those kind of games, and he could give you great life advice. But, like, Dracula... Oh, Dr. Giroux's on here. I forgot about Dr. Giroux. Yeah, okay. I guess Dr. Giroux would be the smartest. Yeah, Giroux's the fucking smartest. He's a fucking brilliant scientist that built fucking android tech. Yeah, okay. So, is Dr. Giroux beating Yugi's grandpa in Yu-Gi-Oh? Yeah, he used to be like he was Indiana Jones in his younger years. That's true, but he wasn't in his older years. He kind of retired in his older years. Leif was a sailor up until like the last year of his life. He was a sailor, lugging shit on board, hoisting the mizzen mast, carrying barrels around and shit. And then he retired and he died like a year later. Yeah, so Leif Erikson, he was pretty hardy. He's pretty hardy. Yeah. Dr. Giroux is 25 intelligence, 4 wisdom. Yeah. Yeah, Giroux doesn't have Exodia, though. Solomon does. Yeah. All right. I forget, he's the principal of the school from Spy Family. I forget his name. But he's like a regular human right now. I've read a fair amount of Spy Family. I think I read the first 60, 70 chapters of Spy Family. I've seen the movie that came out last year, where they go to like Russia, basically. I remember I saw the movie there. I don't remember this old guy doing anything. I don't remember this guy doing anything crazy powerful, like in terms of feats. I remember him just being like the principal of the school. He's the best teacher, though. Okay, so he's the greatest old man ever. There we go. Yeah. He has a tear-jerking backstory in the manga. All right, I gotta pick up Spy Family again, definitely. I have not seen JJK. I have not seen enough of JJK to really know what all these characters can do. He punched somebody in the face once. Okay, well, that doesn't really take much people to do that. So I'm gonna say, okay, he punched somebody in the face. I'm gonna say he's stronger than the Yugi's grandpa, but weaker than Leif Erikson still. And I'd say Pixis is the strongest human, just because I think he's still in better physical shape in the military than everybody else is. Didn't he launch a bowl 50 feet in the air? Okay, this is where we get into the whole thing with Spy Family, where, like, there's one scene I remember where I put Yor on the crossover tournament one year, and there's a feat where she knocked a volleyball into orbit. She knocked a volleyball through the building, through the roof of the gymnasium, and it launched it into Earth orbit. So it's like, shit, man. Shit. Okay, anyway, who's up next? Charles Z. Britannia, the father of Lelouch, and I do not remember much about Code Geass from Adult Swim. I remember him having a Geass that was, like, super, like, he has, like, immortality, right? Like, he has immortality and, like, mind control abilities, right? Like, isn't that what he does? Isn't that how he works? Isn't that how he does things? Yeah. Yeah. So, I think there's a thing, like, if he can't die. Like, I think he was, like, imprisoned in, like, another dimension or some shit. But, like, he rewrites your memory. I remember Lelouch kills him. Don't remember how. Wasn't he, like, locked away in some weird dimensional shift or some shit? I don't think they killed him the traditional way. Yeah. Charles is the strongest out of all the old men. He has the ability to kill God. But can he blow up a planet? I don't care if he can kill God. I would care about if he blows up a planet. I remember liking Code Geass. It's just been a long time since I've seen it. I remember the abridged more than I remember the fucking... I need something to kill my target's an immortal witch. Well, I got a chainsaw in the back. Buddy. Whoa. Yes. I'm at soup. What do you mean you're at soup? Why are you buying cloves at the soup store? Oh, dude. Anyway. He can't physically do anything. Can he blow up God and the planet? He owns a fleet. Well, so does Pixis, and he's still on human level, so there you go. Yeah, August is kind of interesting. We're getting up to August here in a second. I got to pull up some shit on August. I got to remember a little, because Makarov, I remembered his main thing was like fairy law and like turning into the Hulk, like a giant hulky version of himself. August has more shit, so I want to look at August, because he has that like other form he goes into and shit. But anyway, am I putting him down here? Like if he's immortal, whatever the fuck, I don't care if he's immortal, but like, I don't care if he's immortal. Like, that doesn't make you, like, you're not blowing up. I could be immortal tomorrow. That doesn't make me the ability to blow up a mountain, right? Like, yeah. August, he can copy nearly every magic bar holder. Okay, let me look him up really quick, because it's been a little bit since I've read Fairy Tail, but I remember him. He's Zareth and Mavis's son, which was I remember that being the reveal, and I was like, oh shit, that was a reveal. Okay, August, the strongest male member of Alvarez's empire, the Spriggan 12. He was known as the Wizard King. All right, cool. And the Disaster. Oh shit. All right. Copy magic. August is land is was going to do this particular kind of magic. He can notably instantaneously with it. He can copy, master, and then nullify an opponent's magic after encountering them. Oh, that is busted as shit. However, he is unable to copy holder magic. He can only copy, cannot use holder magic without physically using the required tools. Okay, so he can obviously copy, Fire Dragon Slayer magic, slowing magic, crush magic. That's Guild Arts' sleep magic, bullet magic. Let's see. He can copy all the wind magic and shit. So, yeah, he can copy pretty much everything. And then he has the battle form he goes into. His skin darkens. Yeah, and that just gives him, like, enhanced strength, enhanced magical power. Okay, so he's just really powerful. Oh, shit. Oh, wow. There's a game where we see him as a young man, as, like, a younger August. I never saw that before. Check that out. Hold on, let me show that to you. That's cool. I didn't even know that. That's what he looked like when he was younger. That's cool. All right. So, this is interesting then. So when he copies the magic, he keeps it, I would assume. It's not like as long as he has to physically fight Natsu to copy the fire. I think he just has it forever. So he has copy magic that's super fucking busted. He copied Cobra's mind hearing magic. Damn. So he basically has access to, like, probably not every single magic in Fairy Tail, because he didn't encounter everybody in Fairy Tail, but, like, in theory, he could copy every single magic, and the fact that it's instantly masters it is busted. Yeah. Wow. I should have put Red Death in here from Venture Brothers. Yeah, I got to do another one of these. We got to do another one of these. So this was a base template I found on Tier Maker. and then I added a couple of more from the chat at the beginning. But yeah, you're right. I really got to go back, and I gotta add some more. Yeah. I mean, with the sheer level of shit, like, so at least he would be the strongest. Okay, so he would at least be Makarov level, if not stronger. Like, could he blow up Australia is the question. Could August, with his immense copy magic powers, destroy Australia? Like, I think so. Like, if that's pretty damn strong. Could he destroy the planet? He makes Makarov look like a joke. That's what I mean. He's at least, I think, a tier higher than Makarov. Easily. Sorry, Australia. I'm getting some easilies, I'm getting some most likelies, and I'm getting some maybes. So I'll put him at continent level then. But I don't think, yeah, maybe planet might be going a little bit too far, you know? Leave Australia alone. Leave it alone. Australia! All right. Mogo from Kingdom. I think he's the weakest out of all of these guys. So I think I'll just put him here. I'll put Rempa, then Dukio, then Mogo. Yeah. I also think he's the oldest out of all of them because he does die of old age in the story. Oh, I can't do an Aussie accent, mate. I can't. I would say, yeah, with practice, Iroh might be able to beat Solomon Moto in a duel. I think if he gave him the cards and taught him the game, I could see them sitting around like, it's like, hello there, would you like to play Pai Sho? And then they play Pai Sho, maybe. I'm sure Solomon Moto knows how to play Pai Sho. And he's like, I have another game. It's called Duel Monsters. You use it, you play it with cards. And then Iroh's like, oh, really? That seems so fascinating. That's so different. Let me see. And so I can see them sitting around drinking tea at the game shop on a crisp fall morning, and Solomon Moto teaches Iroh how to play Duel Monsters, and I could see them going some rounds. I could see that. I could see that for sure. Yeah. Yeah, there was also Irene, who was a dragon, right? Yeah. So was August stronger than Irene? Because it was like, strongest woman, strongest man. Like, I don't know. Is it Veterans Day? Not here. It isn't. It's today's the 27th. Yeah, it's just a random Wednesday. I don't know how to describe it, but it smells like fall now. Like the heat of the summer is starting to break, and it smells like fall. I don't know how to describe that. But it just does. It smells crisp outside. I don't know how to describe that. All right, so next up we have Garp. Old Man, the Fist, the Hero, Monkey D. Garp. And Garp could easily destroy a mountain. We actually see him do it. Garp stronger than Rayleigh. I think Garp stays more in shape than Rayleigh does, honestly. I think Rayleigh spends most of his time gambling. And Rayleigh still, I mean, he still must do some exercise in the morning, but Garp is still hitting those battleship bags every fucking day. Now, here's the big question. And I think this is the question it all has to come down to. Is Garp beating All Might? Garp versus All Might, that is the fucking headliner. That is the fucking battle I want to pay to see, baby. Vegas MGM Grand. I want to see Garp go up against All Might. That's the shit I want to see. Yeah. Galaxy Divider. Yeah, he splits an island. That's not a continent. I'm going to say mountain level, island level, because we even did that earlier with anybody that can, like, destroy an island or something. I'm going to put, like, Mountain Buster level. Continent is continent. Continent is Australia. Is he splitting Australia in half? Okay, wait a minute. I have to think about this. He might be able to. I don't know, man. He punched really hard against Hachinosu, and then he split Hachinosu in half. But he did say that he wasn't as strong as he used to be. He's like, so that might be like he tried his best, and that's what he got. Yeah. Garp's using both fists for this one. Oh man, I don't know, man. I don't like. I love One Piece. Like I genuinely do. I really do, guys. I don't think Garp is obliterating Australia with one punch. I don't think he's cracking all of Australia. He's definitely causing some damage to Australia. I don't know if he has the same. It's not like, Whitebeard with his earthquake powers cracks the continent of Australia in half and destroys the whole damn thing. I don't see Garp doing that. I don't see Garp doing it. I'm sorry, I don't. 8 mountains does not equal a continent. Oh man, I'm gonna put Garp maybe above All Might. Yeah. Is no one going in the top tier? We're gonna decide on the top tier after we're done here. I don't think he's putting him. He's an intercontinental ballistic Garp, but that's not going to destroy a continent. That'll destroy an island or a city or a mountain, but not a continent. Oh god, yeah, Galaxy Impact versus United States of Smash. Oh my god. I think Garp would win. I think Garp would beat All Might. I think he would. All right, last person, we got the Old Kai. Kind of an interesting character in this one, because the Old Kai doesn't really, like, they're the Supreme Kais, they're gods of creation. They don't really, well, if you've seen Daima, maybe not, but, like, they don't really destroy things. That's kind of their whole point, right? Like, yeah, so Supreme Kai doesn't have, like, I will destroy the planet now kind of thing. So I don't know where to put him on this. Like, like Shin is the Supreme Kai of the Universe 7. I don't think he's... I mean, like, it's mentioned the Supreme Kais are stronger than most characters, but, like, by the time Shin shows up in the Buu Saga, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and everybody, they're all stronger than Shin at that point. They're all stronger than the Supreme Kai. So I would probably put Supreme Kai... What would you think Supreme Kai's power level? Somewhere around, like, Frieza? Maybe like first or second form Cell. Could Shin have beaten Perfect Cell? Let's start there. Could Shin have beaten Perfect Cell? Because he couldn't beat Buu. So could he have beaten Cell? It's close. Could he have beaten Semi-Perfect Cell? Could a Supreme Kai create antimatter? That's a good question. I'm getting a lot of no's here. He could have hacked Cell, but beat? Yeah. I'd say let's say semi-perfect Cell. Let's say he's beating semi-perfect or maybe imperfect Cell. That would still put him at planet level. And that's the thing in the Dragon Ball universe. The level of being able to destroy a planet is, like, not really that crazy of a threshold. That's the thing in the Dragon Ball universe. Could Krillin or Yamcha destroy the Earth? I feel like they should be able to, but I think the story would say no, they can't. But I feel like they should be. Piccolo can destroy the planet. Gohan can absolutely destroy the planet. Tien, I feel, should be able to destroy the planet at this point. Yeah, Krillin should be able to destroy the fucking planet. All right, yeah. If Krillin's blowing up the planet, King Kai can blow up the planet. King Yemma can destroy the planet. Fuck it. Supreme Kai can blow up the planet. Why the fuck not? Everyone can destroy the goddamn planet in Dragon Ball. All right, so now we have to decide who is the greatest old man of all time. And I have made my vote for this. I can't do the vote. We don't have time to do the votes for every single one of them. But let's see what people say here on who's the greatest of all time. I vote Zeus. I vote Kong. We actually don't know who Yugi's dad is, but we know Yugi's grandpa. Yamamoto. I vote for Yama. We could do a poll of, like, the most notable ones. We can't go through every single character on the list, but we can do a poll. All right, all right, we could do maybe a couple of rounds of this. All right, here's what we'll do. Who is the greatest old man All right, we'll start with Zeus Yamamoto. I don't think I spelled that right, but that's okay. Roshi, I saw Roshi. And I didn't see a lot of people mention the Kais, so let's just go with Yamamoto, Zeus, Master Roshi. See, those are the three big ones. I need a fourth one. I'm voting for Tekking's dad. My dad is an old man. He's over 65. My dad's 67. All right, here we go. Here's the first poll. Here we go. Who is the greatest old man? Zeus, Yamamoto, Roshi, or Yugi's grandpa? There can only be one old man. I'm waiting, old man. While we're waiting on the votes, who is this old guy down here that just is a bald guy with a white t-shirt? This looks like just like a random dude you'd see at like, I don't know, the VFW or something like that. Like, what anime is this dude from right here? This guy in the white shirt and he's bald. He looks kind of badass. He looks kind of cool. That is Ippo's coach from Hajime no Ippo. Oh, okay, cool. I've heard a lot about Hajime no Ippo. I'm not a huge fan of sports manga, but I've heard a lot about it. It's been around for a long time. That's an ex-boxer right there. Sweet. What about Ippo? Is Ippo, like, I feel like after, like, what is it, like 1,400 chapters of Hajime no Ippo, can Ippo destroy a building at this point? Or, like, is he just, like I was like, 1,400 chapters, are there still boxers he's yet to beat? Are there still, like, okay, there's another boxer from Australia that's even tougher than you, Ippo? I'm like, I feel like after all these years, he'd be just, like, the undefeated champion of the fucking world, right? Like, hell no, no way he's that strong. I'm like, all right, he's just a human boxer, okay. Okay. All right. Can he at least beat up like a bear or a gorilla or something? They're still just boxers. There's no superpowers. Ippo is not Street Fighter, no longer in boxing rings. Oh, he's not. Oh, is he the trainer now? Did they do a Rocky with it, where Rocky is the trainer to Adonis in Apollo? In Creed. Yeah. Takamura beat a bear. All right, there you go. Only Takamura could beat a brown bear. I need to fight. I need to watch or read Hajime no Ippo a little bit. That's one of those. It's the same effect with One Piece, though. It's very daunting. It's like 14. Like, I don't know how many chapters they're up to now, but like, I remember they hit their 1,000th chapter a while ago, so they're probably up to 14 or 1,500 now. Remember History's Strongest Disciple, Kenichi? Remember that one? Dude, the only thing I remember about that is I remember there was a chapter where there was a chick wearing like basically just like fishnets for like armor and like huge boobs, fighting on a motorcycle with a fucking jousting lance against a black knight with a horse and another jousting lance. That's all I remember from that fucking series. Best chapter. Kenichi was fun. I haven't read I didn't read a lot of it, but damn. Yeah. Okay, who's winning the poll? Yamamoto seems like he's winning the poll. All right, so I will now do another poll really quick, where I think we'll just do one more, because I want to get end down by one, because I got to go eat and kind of chill for a bit and then get set up for Yu-Gi-Oh! In like an hour. So we don't have, like, I'm doing back-to-back streams today. So who is the greatest old man? All right, we got Yamamoto taking the top slot. Old man Yama. I'll put Garp on here. And I'll put, who else? We got Garp. I'll put Jiraiya. I feel like Jiraiya is pretty popular. I'll put Jiraiya on here. And, oh God, how do you spell Jiraiya? There we go. Maybe. Close enough. And let's put, I don't know, let's put Netero on here, I guess. Because I think I saw a few people. Yeah, there we go. All right, there we go. Last round. Who's going to be the highest? Power. Get more power. Old man Yama. Oh, Garp. It's between Garp and Yama. Can't make us argue with the big three, man. No way. Yeah. Oh, this is close. This is close. I'm ending this poll in 45 seconds. Jiraiya and Netero cannot be since they were defeated. Yeah. Well, I mean, canonically, I don't know if Yugi's grandpa's ever won a duel, but he was on the list. It's the final countdown. 20 seconds. My dad is the strongest. My dad has broken both of his knees and broken his leg and has had shoulder surgery 2 years ago. My dad... and also hurt his wrist this year. So my dad is not, unfortunately, not the strongest guy in the world. I'm sorry, Dad. I love you. But you're like, yeah. What a badass. I was like, whoa, your dad's taking a lot of damage in the fighting rings. I'm like, yeah, fighting rings. That's where he got all the injuries from. Yeah. He hurt one of his I think it's Garp. I think Garp's taking it. I think Garp took it, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, Garp to Yamamoto. Oh, Garp took it. Garp took it. It's a One Piece channel. I figured he would, but like, whatever. Tekking's father is from Hajime no Ippo. My dad has had 2 ACL surgeries. One he got while he was working at Coca-Cola. He hurt his leg there, his knee. And then the other one, he was out hunting. Something happened when he was out hunting, and he fucked up his knee really bad. And then much later, he was living in an apartment after my parents broke up, and it was icy outside, and he walked outside to go to work, and he slipped on the ice, and he fell, and he broke his leg, like the leg bone between the ankle. He broke his ankle, and he broke the bone between his ankle and his knee. I don't know if that's I can't remember. I don't know, tibia. I don't know what the fuck that is. Anyway, he broke that. So he has a bunch of pins and screws in his ankle and in his leg for that. And then a couple years ago, he fell backwards in the shed and he landed on a snowblower, and that fucked up his shoulder really bad, and he had to go to surgery and he had to do a lot of physical therapy for that. And then just this past year, he hurt his like wrists somehow, but like they gave him like x-rays and MRIs and shit, and they're like, we can't find a fracture. So my dad has like a phantom fracture, they called it. So like, damn. Yeah, anyway, that's all the injuries my dad has suffered. Anyway, this is the greatest old man tier list. We have the greatest old man, Monkey D. Garp. It doesn't matter if he can destroy a continent. It doesn't matter if he can destroy Australia. He's the greatest old man of all time. Oh, dude. So let's go through some super chats here, and then we will end it, and I'll see you again on Twitch in like, I don't know, an hour or so. Peter wasn't on here, else he would have been kissed oh god. Yeah, he would have won, obviously. I feel like Naruto wasted his time skip, and Jiraiya didn't even teach him anything new, and he really didn't make him that much stronger. He taught him how to like use like ninja tools and how to kind of control the nine-tailed fox, but like more Black Clover videos. You know what, when Black Clover finally ends, which I feel would be soon, I'll talk about it. Makarov could use fairy law. Yeah, we talked about that. You rock teching. Thanks for being you, dude. Thanks, man. Dad tier list. I did a grandpa tier list instead. Do you blame Sarutobi for the Uchiha massacre? Ooh, you got to really dive deep into the lore of Naruto there to understand where that came from. What devil fruits would make the most money in our world? Probably the one that turns things into gold. Then again, if you have a devil fruit that turns things into gold, wouldn't the global value of gold go down? Like, that's the whole supply and demand, scarcity equals rarity kind of thing, right? Yeah. So, like, I don't know, a devil fruit that basically just gives you the ability to maybe, like the op fruit would probably, because you could, like, pay people to solve, like, all medical cures. You'd be in kind of a little bit of a dick to do that. But, like, yeah, I'll cure your cancer. I'll remove your tumor with my magic powers. Just pay me first. You know, that would be, like, I guess you could do that. But, like, you know, the only person in the planet that could do that. But, like, damn. Let's see here. I don't know that anime. You forgot to add Gramps from Ben 10 series. Oh, yeah, Grandpa Ben from Ben 10. Yep. I remember him. There was a lot of old men that did not make the list. Old Man Zuko. Walter from Hellsing Ultimate. Yeah, he should have been on the list. We'll do this again. We got to do this again sometime. I got to make my own instead of using the template. Haven't caught a stream since the second to last One Piece stream. How goes the Way of Kings read-through? Still haven't read much more of it, unfortunately. Still stuck around page 100. Dalinar on the list, too. Chainsaw Man, Santa Claus, he's old. Yeah, just put Santa Claus. No, actual Santa Claus. Actual Santa goes on the list. When do you think Blackbeard plans to do something with Katarina Devon having Saturn's likeness? It just happened in the last arc, and there's a lot of other stuff going on right now, so we probably won't get that immediately, but that is going to be part of the plan, absolutely. Beard looks great, thank you. Yuha, and then somebody asking me about Hollywood, which I answered at the beginning of the stream, yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody, for the fan funding. I'm going to get going. It's a little bit of a quick ending here, but just because I'm going to do Yu-Gi-Oh! Over on Twitch. Also going to be available on Briggs's Twitch, so you can go over there, check us out in about an hour, 2 p.m. We're doing Invasion of Chaos today. Oh, that's going to be a good pack opening. But I'm going to get going. I'm going to go eat. I'm going to go stuff my mouth with food at my fridge really quick, and then I'm going to make some coffee. And then I'm just going to vibe for a bit and just kind of chill out, and then I will be back on Twitch at 2 o'clock. So thank you all for watching. And, yeah, we will look forward to the next old man stream. And maybe we'll include some, like, Genkai and Granny Seiko on that one as well. All right, thanks, everybody. This will be Teching, signing out. All right, that went pretty well.